Hello, welcome back everybody. How we doing? Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday if you're in Australia. We're back at it with the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial this week. We had a week off of the trial, had a little break, and now we're back at it. And it looks like Amber Heard is still getting questioned by her lawyer. We haven't had a cross yet in a whole friggin' week. So we're gonna take a look. I don't know if we're gonna watch the whole thing today. See how it goes. We'll see how spicy the trial is. We'll see what happens. But we'll not gonna waste much time. We'll get right into it here in just a second. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. Pull up my other screen and we'll get working. What is up, Bon? How we doing, buddy? Hey, what's up? What's up, Blue Blue? How you doing? How you doing, man? Oh. I thought I heard something. Just be hearing things. Wait, there was Cross started today. Oh, I'm excited then. So we might be doing a longer stream. I didn't watch the trial yet or today, so we're gonna rewatch it a little bit. So if you've already seen it, there you go. But yeah, good evening from America, all the Australians. It's Monday here, so we're back into the live streams. But yeah, I've been waiting for Cross. I think a lot of people have been waiting for Cross. So if Cross starts today, I'm excited about it. We're gonna have a good time with this. And then we got a little chess that we can play because I like to multitask. Like, I don't know, I just can't sit and watch a trial. I have to do something else in the meantime. So, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are having a good one. Let's get right into it. So I have it looks like the Fox stream pulled up right now. I'm kind of waiting on them. I usually use the Law and Crime, to get it, but they haven't posted the live stream yet. It ended, and now I'm waiting for it to post. So we're probably just gonna run with the Fox version. Mr. Joseph is from the Caribbean, Trinidad. Ooh. Okay, welcome, buddy. Yeah, I'm having coffee too, even though it's like 5 in the afternoon. All right, so let's get the music down. And I don't think the music's gonna sound good with the trial. Probably not. So let's turn that off, and we'll start this bad boy.
All right.
Good morning. All right. Do we have any preliminary matters before the jury comes out? Sure.
Get some preliminary matters out of the way. You were a long-time female subscriber when I reacted to cricket videos. Oh, nice. So got my cricket ball right here. Got a couple of them right next to me. I've been wanting to try cricket. When I was back in Florida, I don't think there's anything around here for this, but when I was back in Florida, there was a park and there was a lot of Indians. There's a big Indian community locally, and the park had a cricket pitch in the field. And so the Indians would play cricket out there, and I should have went up and said, "Hey, yo, can I get in on this?" Because I've been wanting to try. I've been watching a little bit of the Indian Premier League, some of the highlights. Just kind of getting. Cause I kind of like cricket actually. I never thought I would, but not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. All right, let's skip through here. I don't know what we're watching right now. This is outside the courtroom, I guess. Just the jury coming in. What is this? They're not gonna show the jury though. Who's that lady? Is that her mom? Is that her mom?
Have a good one.
Oh, there she is.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning.
Oh, people are just yelling at her outside the courtroom? What? And then Depp shows up and oh my God, this is insane. I never saw this before. Oh man, I kind of wonder what Amber Heard's like thinking in her head, you know what I'm saying? Ah, man, that's rough. I mean, she's doing a lot of bullshit, but I love how this security guy's like already out the door before the vehicle stops. He is ready to go. He's done this before. Who's playing the Rasta music? Depp? Oh, look at him. Look at him. He loves it. He loves it. He knows he's already won. Even if he doesn't win the trial, he's won in life when it comes to this matter. You know, because he might not win this trial. But he's definitely won in the court of public opinion. Look at it.
Those are relatives. All relatives.
Those are all... Those are all relatives. That's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious. Blue said, I hear about Andrew Simmons passing away. I did. I heard about it yesterday. Yeah, that's unfortunate. 2 cricketers now between Shane Warne and Andrew. I didn't really know much. I didn't do any like videos or anything on Andrew, but I did hear about it. It's too bad. So we're gonna just kind of skip through this because I want to get to like where the trial starts. So this is just like a replay.
Amber,
Here we go.
those, okay?
All
All right, next question.
Thank you, Your Honor. Amber, when did the first act of physical violence by Mr. Depp occur?
Objection asked and answered.
No, overruled. Go ahead.
We're starting with an objection right away. Judge overrules it, but dang, we got off to a good start. Let's go.
That would have been early 2012.
Can you guys hear
How did you
the
determine this?
audio?
I reviewed my therapist's
Objection,
notes.
hearsay.
Ooh, hearsay already.
She hasn't even answered it, Your
All
Honor.
right, I'll allow the answer.
By reviewing my therapist's notes.
Objection,
All right,
hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
No, it's just
But it's
disdain.
not
That's
offered to
funny.
prove the truth of the matter asserted. It's explaining what she looked at.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. When did you earlier believe the first act of physical violence occurred?
Audio's good. It's loud enough for
Well, I had always believed up until recently that it had started later, that the violence started around early 2013, not early 2012.
Now, you testified earlier that the first act of physical violence by Mr. Depp related to the Winona Wino tattoo. Do you recall that testimony?
I do.
Okay. Does that change your testimony, realizing that this is earlier? Was this, in fact, still the first act?
Objection, leading.
Sustained.
It's just.
What was the first act?
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
Oh my gosh! I'm sorry to pause it. Like I shouldn't pause it, but this lawyer cannot say anything.
How do you remember
She's getting shut down left
the
and right.
first act of violence?
This is rough. This is already
You
rough.
never forget it. That's how I remember
That
it.
Karen lawyer was so annoying during
Changes your life
cross.
forever. You never
talking
forget
about
the first time someone
Heard's
hits you
lawyer?
like that. I just had the date wrong.
And how is it that you think you got the date wrong?
Objection calls for speculation.
Overruled.
Ooh, they're allowing it. It's kind of
I'm
speculative,
embarrassed
but
to say,
whatever.
I think I would have liked to have believed that the period of time in which I had to fall in love with Johnny, in which we fell in love, and he was sober, and he wasn't violent to me, lasted for a lot longer than it did. I think I would have liked to have believed that I wasn't hit so early in the relationship and still stayed. He was also sober for a period in 2012, which was a peaceful time for us, in which we fell in love. So I had kind of allowed myself, I guess, to forget that the beginning of that period, 2012,
Objection,
before he got
objection,
sober,
objection.
was
That's right.
really violent and chaotic as well.
I honestly kind of
I'm
feel bad
embarrassed
for
to say
Heard's
that.
lawyer because she's just trying to do her
Now,
job.
you
And there's really
testified
not a
that
lot
the
of case
police
here, so
were
she's.
called multiple times.
It's
Other
rough.
than
She's just
the
trying
May
to
21,
do her thing.
2016.
She's not
What
getting
other
anywhere.
occasions were there where the police were called?
They were called in December of 2011. They were called in 2012. They were called in 2013 in March by the landlord. I had sought advice from Laurel Anderson as to whether I should call the police.
Objection, hearsay.
Sustain.
Okay. When you filed
Objection,
the
objection.
domestic violence temporary restraining order, how many acts of abuse did you allege at that time?
I gave the last couple, I believe, last two incidents, maybe three.
And why didn't you tell of all the acts of abuse at that time?
I was following advice from my counsel.
Okay. How many instances of abuse were included in the UK trial?
There were 14 acts of physical abuse and violence and 3 acts of sexual abuse. Violence.
And why were those 17 included in the UK trial?
Well, I was not a party, a direct party. I was a witness, so it was whatever their counsel, the Sun Council, chose.
Okay. When is the first time you were called upon to provide a detailed accounting of as many times as you could recall of physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp?
Objection, hearsay.
That's not hearsay, Your Honor. I'm asking her when she was called upon to do so.
Well, the objection is hearsay.
Right, but it's not offered to prove the
Let me
truth of
listen
the
to that
matter
again.
asserted, and it's just asking for date. That's used by Mr. Depp.
Objection.
As many, you were called upon to provide a detailed accounting of as many times as you could recall of physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp.
Objection, hearsay.
I got to hear the
Party, I
phrasing
was
at the
a
beginning of
witness,
it.
So it was whatever their counsel, the Sun Council, chose.
Okay.
Was that
When is
hearsay?
the first time you were called upon to provide a detailed accounting of as many times as you could recall of physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp?
Objection, hearsay.
That's not hearsay, Your Honor. I'm asking her when she was called upon to do so.
Well, the objection is hearsay.
Right, but it's not offered to prove the truth of the matter asserted, and it's just asking for date.
All right, overruled.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's-
A few months ago, February in
Because you're asking for a
2020,
specific date,
this year,
it's not really
was
hearsay.
the first time I was asked to do so, other than cold in a deposition.
Okay. And when you were asked
You haven't played chess in 18
to
years?
provide those,
Am I good at the
what
game?
did
I'm not
you
good at the
do to
game.
be
I've only been
able
playing for like a
to
year and a half.
Prepare that accounting, that full accounting.
I play every day,
Well,
though.
I had
Just
the
kinda
benefit of
I only
my
play like bots. I don't
therapist.
really play people
Objection,
very much.
hearsay.
So, Your Honor,
objections.
she's not saying what the therapist said. I'm just
I'll
asking.
overrule the objection.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I looked at my
These
therapist's
lawyers
notes. I
get
had the benefit of
frustrated.
those notes, which we had received in February, as well as I reviewed calendars, photos, text messages, my journals, my diaries, of which there were many. I put all of those together. It took a lot of time to be able to, adequately refresh my recollection and fill in the
Objection
details
is heard is
over
full of
the
crap.
course of the 5 years we were together.
And what did you do when you put that all together?
I kind of filled in and collected all of these various pieces of information and gave a fuller account as best I could for each incidents of violence that I had record of.
Oh, shit, I was
think
not
it
paying
called
attention.
an interrogatory.
In this case?
In this case,
All right.
excuse
Did
me,
you sign that under oath?
I did.
Okay. And it was provided to counsel for Mr. Depp?
So
It was.
stupid.
Okay. And was it a pretty lengthy document?
It was far too long.
And how is it that you didn't just remember all of those events like this?
You should drink every time they say objection.
That's not how
You want to be drunk in like 10
your
minutes?
memory or my memory works. We
Wouldn't
were
survive
together
the
for 5
trial.
years, almost 4.5, and it was a very violent, chaotic, at times very loving, emotional relationship. So as anyone can imagine, there was a lot going on, and unfortunately, the violence became almost normal, especially towards the end. It was just, it's hard to say that now, but the violence was almost normal. And, your brain does with trauma what it does, puts it away best you can. So I was I was, frankly, I was shocked to see a lot of the information presented to me through my therapist's notes because she was taking them in real
Objection,
time.
Your Honor, hearsay.
All right, I'll sustain her objection.
Okay, we'll move past what the therapist said in her notes. Okay. Now, there's one more. You also provided a declaration in this case early on. Do you recall that, trying to move the case to California?
Yes, there was a declaration in 2019.
I'll try and put
Right,
Chad on the
and
screen.
did you describe some of the events of violence in that declaration?
Objection leading.
What, if anything, was said about violent acts in that declaration?
I was taking the advice of my counsel. We had, it was to get it moved, I believe.
Okay.
Amazing how like much
was
phrasing
there-
matters when it
Did you
comes
include
to
all of them?
the trial,
No.
Objection
or when it comes to
leading.
court.
Overruled.
Thank you.
No, I did not include all of the incidents of violence. That was not the point of making this declaration. We were making this declaration in an effort to move it to California because as hard as it is to go through this sort of trial as it is, it's even harder to do so in a place that neither Johnny nor I are connected to.
Okay. Now, you testified earlier
Trying to put Chad on the
about
screen.
guitars, and you said you've never played a guitar. Have you ever played a guitar player in a movie?
You could say I posed with a guitar. It turns out I am unteachable.
Okay. I'm going to take you to the tape recordings. Why
suck at
did
the
you
guitar.
and Mr. Depp start taping each other?
Well, at first it was not at first. It was meant to be a way to get to the heart of some of our communication issues, in order to to discover in a therapeutic fashion,
whatever, that works.
kind of what was some of our issues in our communication.
Okay. Now, we heard an audio tape earlier during this trial in which you said the word
Depp said he'll never look
couch
at her again. I was watching some of the
repeatedly.
news before you
Can you
joined
please
live.
explain to the jury what that meant?
Yeah, I haven't.
Yes,
I haven't really kept up too much on the trial over the past week without it been
couch
off.
was
I
a
watched
word
some of it,
that
you know,
we
obviously the
had
week
been,
before, but
given that we decided
I haven't really looked
upon,
into like what
rather,
Depp or her have
hearsay.
been saying off.
Just tell me
Off the
tell us
trial.
what Mr. Depp said about this.
that it was a safe word. It was meant to be a safe word, like a word, like truth.
I think she would learn
where you
about
put
hearsay
down
by now.
the
been like
proverbial
weeks.
guns and you say, truce, we're not fighting anymore. Couch was supposed to be a word that you used, or that we used as a truce. I don't want to fight anymore. You win. Let's stop
These safe
this.
words
That
for
was
your
the mention
arguments.
of couch, which you heard earlier in a recording.
Now, what, if any, discussions did you have with Mr. Depp about threatening to divorce each other or threatening to leave?
Objection calls for hearsay to the
I'm
extent
asking
it
for-
calls for Ms. Heard's statements.
I'm asking for discussions with Mr. Depp.
It's still her.
Just tell us what Mr. Depp said, don't tell us what you said.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so what did
This
Mr.
poor
Depp
lawyer.
say in your discussions about
Getting
the
shut
use
down.
of the term threatening to divorce or threatening to leave each other?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
Well, Johnny would always say the only way out of this was death. But in fights, in particularly heated ones, we had found, we were using divorce in the fight, in some of our heated fights. We tried not to, but that kind of deteriorated after the December incident that I got beat up pretty badly in, and after that point, it was used a lot more often.
Okay.
Yeah, this
No.
lawyer's struggling.
March 26, 2015.
There's a recording of him saying he'll never
This
look at
is
her. Look at
after
her?
the first Australia trip
I don't
and
doubt
after
it.
the staircase incident. I'm going to ask, Michelle, can you bring up Depp Exhibit 371A? This is a tape recording, and it's going to be at 1 minute, 1:01 to 2:29.
You hear the recording in the beginning of Cross?
Could you say that times again?
Yes, it's
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
1:01 to
When is Cross? When does Cross happen?
2:29. And if we could, I don't know whether you had turned up that volume. I know it's hard to hear these.
Is this in evidence already?
I'm moving it into evidence, Your Honor,
curious
but these
to
are the
when
tape
Cross is.
recordings between the two, which I think we had agreed.
Is there any objection to 371A?
Your Honor, if you just give me a moment to
Okay,
confirm
sure.
there's no other voices.
Plaintiffs. Yes, that's fine. It's not in evidence, though, is it?
It's not in evidence, Your Honor, so could you please
Okay,
confirm
here's
that
cross.
there are no
7
other
hours in.
voices?
This is, I will confirm that.
Okay,
This,
all right.
and it's Depp's exhibit.
Right.
It's Mr. Depp's exhibit.
Plaintiffs 371A then, any objection?
No objection.
Okay, 371A in evidence. Thank you.
And we may need to,
I don't know.
Sammy, if I could just, if you listen, we may need to turn that.
The nice thing
volume
about
up so
rewatching
you can
these
control it a little
is
bit
I
better
can
than what
skip
we
through
have
all the
now.
like the recesses and stuff. So same with like watching sports games. Like I like to like rewatch hockey games and just don't like look at the score because then I can skip through the intermissions. You know, and just watch it.
Into different versions
So let's just
of a
skip
person
past
that
this.
I recognize for a brief moment, and then he slips away.
Wait, what am I
He
stuck on here?
disappears. And then I get a different version of him. I get the insecure, scared version of him that lashes out in a different medium every time. So if it's Adderall Junkie Johnny, then he's abusive and he's a bully and he's a tyrant and he's mean, he's reactionary and he's incendiary, and anything I do and say is cause for violence or anger. If I speak to him honestly, bluntly from the heart, I'm yelling at him. If I argue back with him, then I'm abusive. If I don't say anything, then I am dismissive or absent or it's wrong or somewhere else. If I engage with him, I'm part of the problem. I'm yelling, I'm mean. If I don't engage with him, then I'm mean. I'm part of the problem. No matter what I do, I'm fucked. Because if I look at him the wrong way, he's a problem. If I say the wrong thing, God knows what it is. I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Either way. That's the guy who's on a bunch of fucking speed.
What did you mean when you were saying that to Mr. Depp?
That no matter, my perception was that no matter what I did, no matter what I did to de-escalate, walk away from him, to confront him, to try to, nothing I did made a difference. Nothing I did changed his rage at me. Nothing I did changed the violence towards me. Nothing I did calmed him down. And I was constantly doing a juggling act of what kind of version of Johnny I was dealing with. There were different versions of him, and they were drastically different from one another, and even more so than them being different from one another. They didn't even sometimes remember what the other version did or said. They acted almost like independent versions of this person, depending on what combination of drugs and alcohol he was on. That's what I was trying to express to him. It's just the futility of me responding and successfully, and the futility of trying to constantly negotiate with him and the substances he was on at the time.
I'm going to take you to April 15, 2015, the premiere of When I Live My Life Over Again. What, if anything, did you do for that premiere?
I believe that premiere was in New York City. It was a small independent film I shot. I went back to New York to attend the premiere.
Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 421, please? Does this accurately depict the scene portrayed in this picture?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 421.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right, 421 in evidence.
May we publish to the
Publish to the
jury?
jury.
Thank you. Amber, could you please describe for the jury what this picture is?
That is a picture of me a few months, I believe this is April of 2015, so it's a few months after the March incident that happened in Australia, early March, in which Johnny held me down on the countertops and my arms were cut on the glass
And
in that attack.
And if we could draw attention to your arm there, are those scars? What are those? Please describe for the jury what those are.
Those are scars that I obtained while Johnny was.
That's why I don't get, like, how is this lawyer not learned by now? She's like, are those scars? That's leading. You can't say that. You gotta be like, what are those?
Defendant's Exhibit 423, please.
I don't know how she's still wording things like this. Oh, shit. I kind of got
And does
myself
this
into a
accurately
pickle here in this
portray
game.
the scene shown?
Yes, that's.
Hold on a second. I'm going
Yes.
to move the admission of defendants 423, please.
No objection.
423 in evidence.
Thank you.
Publish.
May we publish? All right, and please describe to the jury what this shows.
It is a picture of me on a red carpet. You can see my scars. Even though I have makeup on them, they're a bit harder to cover because they're rather fresh.
Okay. Now, after this, in April of 2015, you returned to Australia with Mr. Depp, did you not?
Objection leading.
Overruled, I'll allow it.
Thank you.
Yes, we did.
Okay, and tell the jury about that trip.
Well, after Johnny was able to get clean off of the coke and the other drugs enough to get the hand surgery he needed, there commenced a period of time of sobriety for Johnny. He
It's always about Johnny. Johnny this,
his
Johnny
doctor
that.
fired
Johnny this,
him and
Johnny
then
that.
came
After
on when Johnny
Johnny
agreed to
got
get clean.
clean and Johnny
Objection
gets this.
hearsay, non-responsive.
Don't say.
You notice
what-
how, like,
I mean, we've
when
already had
Johnny
that.
was on the stand, he was talking about himself and, like, what he was dealing with. And when she's on the stand, all she's doing is talking about him.
Say what somebody else said. Okay?
Like,
There was
don't
this
know.
period of sobriety after that.
You and your mate used to go to coffee house and
Johnny
play
was
chess for
very
hours?
committed
Yeah,
to
I love
being
it. I
clean
don't know.
and sober.
I could play
and
chess for hours, too.
I thought
Like, over the board chess,
we had finally
I don't
done
play
it.
it nearly as much, but
We finally did it.
I enjoy
we
it
were
more, I think.
through it, and we were never going back. Meaning,
I'm in a
it
winning
was-
position,
he was gonna
but I
be
just don't
clean
know
and
how to
sober for good this
capitalize on
time,
it.
and we had a wonderful period of, we fell back in love, or deeper in love than we were before. It seemed if things were so good. We were talking
just
about
eat
a
the
future
pawns.
again. We were talking about having kids. I mean, when Johnny wasn't using it, was so peaceful. We had we had a good time together. We went back to Australia like that, in that state, and had a few months. We even had my parents come and visit us in Australia, and we were talking about babies and about buying a farm and, looking for homes in California. And we were in a really beautiful, peaceful period. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
It's just
How
beautiful.
did you
So
stay at the
beautiful.
same place that you did the earlier time in Australia?
We went back to a very remodeled version of that home. I mean, remodeled, very cleaned up version of that home. Same walls, same structure, but looked a bit different, as you can imagine.
How did you feel going back to that home, given what had happened in March, early March?
The home isn't the problem. If you're living
Wait, there was
in
mate right
domestic
there?
violence, you don't
25.
just not go home.
That's mate?
You don't just not go into the kitchen just because you were slapped in that kitchen. People living in domestic violence live in their homes.
Oh, wait, this is mate.
That's almost,
Oh, yeah, I
the
didn't
home
see
isn't
that.
the problem. That's the normal part of your home.
Well,
And for
I didn't
me,
play the move, so.
Johnny was my home. Where we were a couple was my home. And that home was often really violent. But it wasn't the structure itself. It was Johnny.
It was Johnny.
And when we went back to
It was Johnny.
Australia, that
It was the
home,
down
Johnny,
Depp.
was in a completely different, he had done a
What am I doing here?
complete
There we go.
180. Clean, sober, present, calm. We were peaceful. I mean, any of the gripes and the problems that he seemed to have about me went away.
Everything is
He was
about
sober.
Johnny, about playing up the
And
story,
so we
looking
had a
good for the
really-
jury.
We managed
Do you
to
know
go
the
back to
world
that
hates
same
her right
house,
now, so she's just trying to
but
win
in a
this
very
case.
different way. It felt very different.
Which I don't even think Johnny
June
cares if he loses or
16,
wins this case anymore, to be
2015,
honest.
the
If I
Magic
was him, I
Mike
would.
Tour. Where
You know
did you
you
go
won.
for that tour?
What
While
I
was in Australia,
just
I got
read,
the
though,
call
this
for that
morning
press
was
tour
that
and went to Europe for the press tour.
Jack
That
Sparrow
was
in Pirates of the Caribbean was
And,
replaced. Like, they found a new person for him. I haven't seen, like, who it is or
I was
anything.
nervous
Or if
'cause
even
problems
that's
arise
if
when I'm
if that's
having
even
to
true.
work
I
and
just
I'm
I just saw a little
working
headline
something.
earlier today about that.
That was still responsive.
Well, sustained objection.
I hope nobody watches Pirates of the Caribbean from here on out, because how are you gonna have Pirates of the Caribbean without Jack Sparrow?
I'm gonna
Or
ask
without
you
Johnny
first,
Depp.
does this accurately portray the scene depicted?
The cross started at 6:45.
Your Honor,
Okay.
I'm going to move the admission of Defendant's Exhibit 447.
No objection.
447 in evidence.
Let's listen to this for a little while, and if it's
Thank
just
you. And Michelle, if you
if
could...
it's as boring as it has been for like the past week
Amber, could you tell the
prior
jury
to the week
about
off, we'll just skip ahead a little bit.
Yes, that's me on the red carpet promoting the Magic Mike movie I was in. You can
Magic
see
Mike.
the scars on my body, on my arms.
Okay,
You can't see everything, of course, but
okay. And Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 449?
Dude, Pirates is awesome. Like, I remember when I was like, I don't know, when did the first one come out? When did the first one
And
come out?
Amber, does this
I think I was like a teenager.
accurately depict the scene portrayed?
yes, it does.
Your Honor, I'm going to move the
2003,
admission
yeah.
of Defendant's
Yeah,
449.
I was 12,
No
so
objection.
449 in evidence.
I remember that was such a freaking
And
awesome movie.
Amber, could you please describe to the jury what this portrays?
This is, you can see the scars on my arm from that attack.
Disney done fucked up.
Also around this time, Johnny was calling me on the phone before and after, while I was doing these press events, and sometimes I would be on the phone with him, kind of managing accusations about why I didn't pick up sooner, didn't text back sooner, and sometimes I actually on this tour many times had to delay getting out of the car or
Objection non-responsive.
Yeah, answer the
ask
question.
that. How did Mr. Depp react to your going on this press tour?
he was very upset with me. I just remember crying on the phone with him a lot and having to hang up to do press events.
All right, thank you.
He was very
Now,
upset
I'm
with
going
me.
to
That's
take you
the
to the
answer.
Southeast Asia train trip. That was your honeymoon trip, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and that was July 25, 2015?
Yes,
No.
it was.
Okay. Michelle, I'm going to ask you to bring up Plaintiff's Exhibit 162.
Vaughn, if
It's
you want to play
already
chess,
into
I'll play a
evidence.
chess game with you on chess.com. Or if anybody wants to play, I'll play a game.
Now,
Hey, what's up, Vanessa?
Mr.
How you doing?
McGivern testified that he took this picture in July of 2013.
I gotta let Discord know
Would you
I'm
agree
streaming.
with that?
Objection misstates prior testimony.
That's exactly what he testified to.
Wait a second. That's not what I want.
It was
It
Malcolm.
wasn't. It wasn't.
I have the transcript.
I don't know. Go ahead and ask your
It's
question.
Mr. McConnelly.
Is that correct?
I believe Malcolm Conley took this on the Orient Express.
Malcolm Connolly, not Travis McGivern?
I believe it was Malcolm on that trip with us, yes.
Okay, and was it in 2013 or was it 2015?
It was in 2015,
Okay.
July.
And
Pretty good. Been
please
watching the Star
describe,
Trek?
if you can, what
Nice. Getting
transpired
back on
during this
getting
trip.
back on the trek, eh?
Well, the train trip itself was peaceful up until Johnny wanted to start drinking brown alcohol. He had already started drinking champagne. When I returned from the press tour, that's what he was drinking wine and champagne.
Champagne. Champagne.
And when he wrapped on Pirates 5, the plan was for us to do this honeymoon.
Season
I
4, nice.
was
Hey,
walking a
Duke,
bit
how
on
you doing, buddy?
eggshells
Welcome.
Because I know a pattern, but I was not wanting to accept that that we had gone back to a pattern at all. And so we were on this train.
Season 4 of Star
and
Trek.
on the
I haven't watched a
last
lot
night
of Star
we were
Trek.
on
I've
the
probably
train,
only watched like 10 episodes total in my
after
life,
this was
but
taken, this
it's a pretty good show.
Johnny and I got in an argument about him wanting to be allowed, meaning him wanting me to agree to him drinking liquor and being okay with it. And an argument followed that in our sleeping car. Johnny slapped me across the face and held me up by kind of got a hold of my neck and pushed me up against the wall of the cart. it was a small, a narrow sleeper cart, and there were 2 beds, one on each side. He had me up against the wall while he was standing on the floor in between the beds, and I was on the bed, kind of half kneeling, half standing, trying to get his arms off my neck, and he was squeezing my neck against the railway car for what felt like a very long time, and every time
this is the one I watched.
He would pull me away from the side of the car. He'd
I think it was Next Generation.
Slam me up against the wall, and I remember looking down at him and trying to get his arms off of my neck, and I remember thinking that
This was the Star Trek I watched.
He
Next Generation.
Not even mean to
this
kill
was the
me.
episodes I watched
I
out of this
remember
series.
being scared that he wouldn't even mean.
I remember, like Data. That's what I was thinking of, not
And
Spock. I
kind
was
of
thinking
looking
of Data.
down at him because I was slightly above him as he was standing on the ground.
I know who Spock is, but you know.
And kind of clawing at him, trying to get him to.
The color of his skin reminds me of a
away
grandma's
from my
house.
neck.
Yeah, Captain Picard.
I remember I had at one point he ripped the top of my shirt. I don't really remember what it was, but I remember I had a breast exposed. At some point, I pull at his
Data,
lapel of his shirt, and he
this weird
rips
looking
the shirt off.
What's his race?
And wraps it around my neck.
I forget.
And that's how I woke
Klingon,
up.
right?
The next morning, actually, I woke up with it still around my neck.
No, you guys will let me know.
And with a giant knot in the back of my head.
Watch Voyager.
Did you keep a diary at that time?
Yes, I did.
Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 461?
Klingon, yeah. You had a crush on Will Wheaton? Nice. So this is the one I should watch, Voyager?
Objection, hearsay.
It is a diary, Your Honor, and I will just ask her some questions about it rather than trying to admit it into evidence at this point.
All right. I'll wait for the question. Go ahead.
The one good Klingon?
What, if anything, do you recall about
motherfucker. Look at that guy.
recording what transpired on that train?
An actor looks
Objection,
familiar.
hearsay.
I'm just asking her whether she did. I'm not
Objection,
asking what
hearsay.
she recorded.
All right, I'll allow it. Go ahead.
Objection,
Overruled.
speculation.
I wrote about what happened that night the next morning.
So Voyager is after...
Now, did Mr. Depp
Next
suffer any
Generation.
injuries on that trip?
Not that I saw. I have a lot of pictures from that trip, and he's uninjured.
Okay, thank you.
And what
You
is
can
the
take that down,
original?
Michelle, thank you. Now,
Is the original
I'm going
just
to keep you in July
original, or
of
is it Voyager?
2015, and Michelle, I'm going to ask you to bring up Depp Exhibit
sorry.
390A.
Is the
It's a
original called
recording,
something, or is it just called Star
And
Trek?
I'm going to be asking about from 3:30 to 4:12. I'm going to move the admission, Your Honor. That's another
Looks like
recording
it's just-
between Mr. Depp and
just
Ms.
called it-
Heard.
it's just
There's
called
nobody
Star
else.
Trek,
It's-
okay.
Plaintiffs, what number was it?
I didn't
It's
know if they had a
plaintiffs, it's
different name.
390A.
Okay. Any objection
Yeah,
to 390A?
I have watched The Mandalorian and Book of Boba.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I think I still need to watch the last episode of Boba. But I watched it. Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it. What happens though with me at least is I go on these like binges, right? And I think this is what everybody does, or a lot of people do, especially on Netflix. But I got Disney Plus recently, right? And
Any objection?
I'm like,
then?
oh, we got all these stuff to watch. So I just like binge watch it all, right? And now I want to keep going, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the hard part.
I saw you doing it earlier, whatever. It's fine, it's secret.
Blue, you didn't like Deep Space Nine?
It's deceitful. You already fucking, you had trouble with me.
Oh, hold on. Let's listen to this.
before. When you said to me, you find, I saw you doing it earlier, whatever. It's fine, it's secretive. It's deceitful. You already fucking, you had trouble with me before when you said to me that you didn't feel like you were told when I was recording you. So please stop.
You didn't.
Please stop.
You did not tell me.
Please stop.
Fucking acknowledge what I'm saying before you keep making demands. You are not a school
Okay.
teacher. Shut
Okay.
the fuck up.
Don't
Listen
shut
to me, and then you can fucking respond. Understand? You ain't nobody's fucking mom. You ain't no school teacher. Don't
Jesus.
fucking pretend to be authoritative with me.
Okay, fine.
You don't exist.
Leave it on.
Yeah, I mean, like
what were
I
you
said this too when we were
discussing
listening to
in
this
that
last week with the trial.
call?
They both just sound toxic as fuck to each other. It's like such a toxic relationship. They should have never been together. Thank God they're not gonna be, but it just sounds like they're just not compatible at all.
And Johnny said it didn't matter anymore, the requirement of that permission from me. I was trying to say, hey.
Hey, the Klingon's in it.
We agreed.
Okay. Let's go to August 2015. Please describe.
Like, I'll be honest, I've been in a
with
relationship
Mr.
like
Depp
that when
in
I
that
was
timeframe.
like at the,
This
I
is
was a senior in high school,
August
just getting out of high school too for a
2015.
few years. It's just not good. It's just not a good situation to be with somebody when you're not compatible. Like, no matter how much you think you guys love each other, if you're talking to each other like that and you're always at each other's throats, it is just not a good place to be.
Johnny's use continued.
And I think
well,
that's really all
started-
of these videos or these audio recordings of what she's showing. That's basically what she's highlighting. It's just that they're not compatible for each other. You know, she can claim that she was abused and all these things. And I said this before. It's like, you know, if she was, that's terrible. But there's no evidence, it seems like, for it. So, you know, it just seems like they're both talking over each other. They're both getting frustrated. She's very, like, emotionally abusive. But I don't know. It just sounds like this is just all a bunch of
people who are
fucking
making
Hollywood
the
drama.
show-
Objection, hearsay.
It's not offered to prove the truth of the matter, sir.
Overruled.
Thank you.
And so I was considering taking that job. And there was a possibility it would require brief nudity.
How you doing, Cordy?
I knew I would have to
to see you,
negotiate
man.
down, but obviously that was a problem for Johnny. Didn't want me to do that. Didn't want me to work. And frankly, I needed to. And there was another film I had coming out that I had previously shot. It's called London Fields.
She's full of her own poo-poo. I believe
It
it.
was a source of a lot of fighting between us because of the sexual.
I said this like on the other streams too when we were talking about this. Is I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, I don't know if what you're saying is true or not because I don't know what the evidence is. Blah 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 blah. But something about her bothers the shit out of me. I think she sounds very untruthful, like she's acting, and it's just my opinion. Something about her demeanor and how she talks about things, how she's like kind of like trying to cry and then like completely serious the next second. It's it raises a lot of red flags. I don't know.
Got one sent to where we were at the time, Johnny Chateau in France. It's in a remote part
Yeah,
of
she
France.
recorded all of this stuff, but never
And
any
once
actual
again, we're
abuse,
in
which
this
is
remote
kind of weird.
place, and we're screening this film that I appeared in.
Now,
and
I'm not
there's a
saying Johnny
scene,
should be
a
talking to
sex
her like
scene
that,
in
or she should be
movie,
talking to Johnny like that, but
that started before.
it's not what we're here for, right?
Johnny freaked out because it looked like me. They had used a body double. Unbeknownst to me, without my permission, they used a body double to do a sex scene. So I have an incredibly jealous man who already is upset with me for breaking the rule that I had a sex scene. On top of that, I'm telling him it wasn't me. I didn't shoot that scene. And you can imagine.
Like, if what she's saying here is true, and I wouldn't actually doubt if there's some truth to what she's saying when it comes to like Johnny being super jealous over all these little things with you know, with the acting and sex scenes and kiss scenes and all this stuff. I could totally see Johnny being jealous about that because I feel like he's been cheated on. Like, I feel like she's cheated on him. I don't know if that's been confirmed in evidence, but I know it's been allegated, and that is literally the behavior of somebody who's been cheated on. Right? I've been cheated on, and then go back to that toxic relationship I was in when I was in my late teens, early 20s. That's how mine was too at the time. It's like once you've been cheated on, that's what you assume. You always assume the worst because you've already been lied to, you've already been betrayed, and so that's why again the whole relationship is just toxic at that point because he can never trust her. He's always mad at her because she's already lied and cheated on him or whatever. That's how I see it. And I feel like it's a very reasonable thing to look at is if you have been cheated on, you don't trust people. I'm sorry, that's just what it is. At least you don't trust the person that cheated on you anymore. And if you try to continue in that relationship, it's just
Did there come a time
not
in
gonna
this
end up
time
well.
frame that you found a folder on Mr. Depp's computer?
Yes.
What was it labeled?
It was on Johnny's opening page's desktop, it said "No fun for JD" in all caps.
And what was in that folder?
It was a collection of pictures of me
Been in a
from
relationship
various
like
red
that, Vaughn?
carpets, starting
I feel like
on
it's a
press
very
tours
common
that I've
thing,
been on.
at least for men, and
where
it
I
probably
was
is for
in
women too.
pictures
That
of
if you're cheated on in a relationship and you try to stick through the relationship, then you're never gonna have that same level of trust ever again. I don't know. I don't see how you could. At least I couldn't when I was in that situation. But hey, Blue, yeah, have a good one. We'll see you in a little bit.
In that folder that we have seen today.
But just how it sounds like she's describing Johnny, it sounds like a man who's been cheated on and is very untrusting and overprotective of what's going on.
Now,
which
what, if anything, did Mr.
I could
Depp
understand.
say to you or ask you about how you got those cuts on your arms?
Nothing.
What, if anything, has Mr. Depp ever said to you or asked you about any injuries that you've sustained over those years?
Johnny's obviously never asked me how I got any of those scars.
Is it obvious though? Is it really obvious? It's not obvious.
Did you ever
Why are you saying it like
witness Mr. Depp self-injuring himself?
Often. He did that often.
Please tell the jury about that. What did he do?
I first started, I can't tell you what I told my therapist, but I almost called 911.
Her scars are
in
self-made?
New York in 2014.
I wouldn't doubt it. I don't know.
August of 2014, I believe, because I thought he had done himself an injury.
I'm not going to make any speculations
He often
on it
in
unless I
fights
know, like,
would cut
for a
his
fact
arms,
what it was, but
or hold a knife
it
to
could
his
have been.
chest, or draw blood.
Because here's the thing: if somebody did actually like cause those injuries, like even if they're unintentional, like if he like whatever threw her across the table and there's glass on it and she cut her arms like that, wouldn't you file a police report? Wouldn't you do something about it? You know, if you're literally have these giant scars down your arm, you would think you would tell somebody, or you would like file a police report.
Screaming at me.
But a normal
He once
person.
did it right in front of me, screaming at my face as he put the cigarette out on his cheek.
Now, I'm going to take you to September
Cigarette out on
15,
his cheek.
2015. And Michelle, if we can bring up Depp exhibit, that's plaintiff's exhibit 345A. This is another audio recording, and it's 5:54 to 7:55.
The scars are scratches, not scars.
I'd like to move the admission, Your Honor.
So the pics in the it's a let me read what you said here.
No objection.
All right, 3:45.
It's a fine red scratch that she apparently got days prior. That would have changed color. The scars are little scratches, not scars. See, that's why it's hard for me to like you say that, and I'm gonna I'll give you the benefit of the doubt too. But it's hard for me to believe that somebody would do that. And I trust me, I wouldn't pass people out there in this world to do shit like that, to like make stuff up, like blatantly lie on the stand and make stuff up. It blows me away. Like somebody has to be lying in this, right? And just like, if she is completely lying about this, it is just perpetual after perpetual lie, which, gosh, just seems hard to like, see how anybody could do that. But, this is crazy.
Just like last time. When I had to pull you out of the bathroom.
Let's listen to this.
On the front, but you don't have any control.
All right.
I was going to put you.
I want to listen to this.
If you can play, Michelle, please.
Recording.
I was going to pour you one.
I'm an alcoholic. You should.
I don't have any control over how much you drink. But you don't have any control over whether I tell you the truth or not. Have you changed lately? Yeah, you've changed.
Well, your truth is really interesting, too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm the
All right,
first
give me a
person
glass
that's
of wine,
noticed.
please, so I can go downstairs.
Okay. Yes. Your escape route. I see.
Not escaping. I'll be back in 10
Oh,
minutes.
of course. 15 minutes, just like last time.
15.
Just like last time. When I had to pull you out of the bathroom. Well, when you passed out naked in the bathroom in there.
Did you pull me out?
I tried to.
Really?
Yeah.
Their whole relationship is a giant court case, it sounds like. recording each other, trying to get the "I gotcha" moment, arguing over semantics and little details. It's ridiculous.
If you ever stop snoring.
Because you're afraid I was gonna die.
I thought you would choke on your own vomit, which is very likely with you.
Really?
Yes, very
But I
likely.
vomit a lot.
Yes.
What?
Yes, you do vomit a lot in your sleep. Even
Good.
oh, it's news to you.
If he would have asked, like,
Then
well, do you
this is
shit in my bed a
affecting you
lot?
more than I thought it was.
And you're so good. I hope so.
What? You don't vomit a lot? Are you gonna tell me that? Look me in the eye. Tell me you don't vomit a lot. Go on, tell me you don't vomit a lot. You're always with me. Thanks for letting me try.
Please explain to the
weird.
jury what the issue was in this particular tape recording.
Well, Johnny at the time was wanting to go and drink downstairs at a bar, and we were talking about 15 minutes because the last several times he had done that, it had been days. He'd disappear on a bender, get really sick, and you know the drill by now.
It is a lot of
Enough
he said, she
from
said.
me. So
But when we get back to, like, what's the whole point of this case, right? Like, it's not a criminal case about abuse or trying to prove domestic. Like, she's not trying to get him in jail for abuse or anything. This whole case is, like, she needs to come up with some proof of abuse because she's cost Johnny Depp millions of dollars in job, like, movie roles and things like that. That's the whole point, is defamation. And it's like right now she's just trying to win the sympathy argument with the jury, based off of, because she has no actual evidence of abuse. So it's trying to, like, create this story, and whether or not, you know, the level of truth in that story. But she's trying to fabricate this story or create or tell a story to win the jury over on a sympathy
I kind of realized level. I can't say what the
I don't
advice
know.
was,
That's
but
what it seems
after I
like to
got
me.
that advice, I stopped doing that. I tried to, as much as I could, leave him and just be
Fuck.
ready to call 911 or help if I heard him choking. And sometimes that happened behind bathroom doors.
Well, and that's going to take me to September 27, 2015. Again, Depp, that's plaintiff's exhibit 356A.
Taking the kittens to the vet for the chomp and chip. Oh, poor
And the
kitties.
recording is 3107 to 3230. I'm going to move the admission, Your Honor.
Hope your kitties do well there at the vet. My cats don't like going to the vet. My cats aren't chipped, but they are
356A in evidence.
they are spayed or neutered.
Thank you.
Is it spayed?
Why?
Females get spayed, right? Yeah.
Thing and you spit in the face and you said, "No fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I watched you lie, and then I said, "No fuck."
Listen to this
And that
again.
you,
56A in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, where's the proof?
Thank you.
Exactly.
Why?
and that you punched me in the fucking thing, and you spit
figured
in
it
the
out.
face, and you said, "No fucking, no, I didn't. What the fuck are you talking about?" And I watched you lie, and then
I
I
didn't
said,
punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit
punched
you
me.
across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
No, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, when you fucking have a closed
You
fist.
get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
I'm sorry, I have to stop it and just talk about this for a second, because this is the one thing that really bothered me about her, and I'm surprised that her lawyer's even bringing it up, because this whole double standard, and I get it, like, men are stronger than women. This is also what blows me away about the whole, like, trans people in sports argument, which we're not going to get into today. But we're clearly under the understanding, like she is, right, that, like, her whole point is, I'm a woman, my hits don't hurt you, it doesn't hurt when I hit you, yada, 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 but you're a man, so, you know, you can never touch a woman because you're a man and you're automatically stronger. But then when it comes to, like, people saying that they're a woman when they're a man and going into sports, then we completely ignore all that. But it's like this double standard that women, like, I've even heard women say, like, yeah, I'm just gonna hit a man, no matter what, and I know he can't hit me back, but I'm gonna use that as a tool because I know they won't retaliate. That is absurd. All right, like, and it makes me think of I think it was Bill Burr, like the comedian who said this, like. To say that there's no reason to hit a woman is absolutely insane. There are plenty of reason to hit women, you just don't do it, right? Like, but this idea, like, for some of these women to think that, they can. If a man said that, like, oh, I didn't hit you, or I didn't punch you, I just kind of hit you. You know what I mean? Like, we would all be kind of being like, you can't just do that, right? But it's okay when women like her do it, right? Then it's fine. This double standard is ridiculous. And I'm really surprised that her lawyers are even bringing it up. Like, really surprised.
How are your toes?
What am I supposed to do? Do this?
How are your toes?
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
That's the difference between me and you.
You're
fucking
fine.
baby.
That's what
Because you
somebody
start physical fights.
uses somebody says.
Because you start physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You're admirable. Every single time. What's your excuse when there's not a physical fight? Then what's the excuse that you're still being admirable, right? Just by running away?
Amber, please explain to the jury what's transpiring in that audio recording, what that's about.
Well, there's two different situations that we're referencing in this fight. Two different altercations between Johnny and I involving the door. The first of which we first start talking about, where I'm talking about hitting him, I am talking about what that conversation is about the disparity.
Oh my
disparity
fucking
between Johnny
God.
and I in our physical
She's
fights.
gonna try and
The
explain this and
disparity of
write this off somehow.
How he would proactively punch me, and I would have to resort to reactively hitting him. I am talking about the difference between a punch, which Johnny did often, and me having to hit him in my defense.
Please define that.
I know the difference between those two, and I'm highlighting the difference between those two. Even if he wasn't twice my size, they're very different, and that's what I'm pointing out to him. The situation that involved, the context of that is, it happened in our bedroom up in Penthouse 3. You've heard us talk about that place. And I was trying to shut a door, our bedroom door actually. I was trying to barricade myself behind the door, and Johnny was trying to get through the door. He was using his body and his limbs to try to bust through the door as I was trying to keep it closed because I knew what he would do to me when he got to me on the other side. And I was hitting his arms, his body, as he was trying to prevent me from closing the door. And that is a separate incident that we later talk about in the second half.
Yeah,
of that
this is all
recording
just
where we're talking
her
about my toes. That
hearsay
involved a
kind of
different
bullshit.
incident.
Like,
Which
there's no
was
evidence
a
for what
bathroom
she's
door,
saying to be true,
and
but
it
she
was one of
admitted
those
on
ones that he was
audio
passing out
recording
in,
that she was hitting
and I
him.
could hear him passing out.
And
or
she
what it
admitted
sounded
to
like
starting a
me
physical
behind
fight.
Closed doors, passing out. I heard.
And now
a
she's
thud,
making
I
up
heard a
this
lot
whole
of
story,
commotion,
but
I
whether or
heard
not it's true or
a
not,
glass
doesn't really
break,
matter. There's no proof of it.
And I hear what sounds like his body falling against the bathroom door. I open it to check on him, as I was accustomed to doing at that time. Johnny violently reacted to me opening the door, pushed it against me. It ran up over my toes, and he angrily came around the side of the door, swinging at me. I naturally pushed the door off of my feet, responding to the pain and also to the awareness, the knowledge that he was coming for me. Johnny later later he blamed me.
I can't wait for Cross.
Inability to understand what happened, in that he was not in his right mind, and he misunderstood that interaction and tried to blame me for
All right, whatever. All right, guys, we got a daily puzzle here. What do you think the move is? It's Black's move.
And that was the second door. I only could respond by trying to take accountability for my actions in it, what he understood my actions were, and my interpretation. And what I'm trying to say to him is, look, I can only do my best to respond. I was in pain, I was scared, and I can't promise you that when I'm scared and in pain, I won't react, thinking I know very well what our situation is and what's going to happen to me should I not react.
Thank you. So I'm going to play another clip from that same discussion, and Your Honor, it would be Plaintiff's Exhibit. That's 356B, we will call that, and it would be from 1:29:27 to 1:30:07.
I thought about that, but then
I'd like to move
you really
the
don't.
admission.
All you do is trade off pieces and
Any
put the
objection?
king in check.
No objection,
it's
Your Honor.
really
All right,
anything.
356B in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Michelle?
I can't promise you that I'll be perfect. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. God, I fucking sometimes get so mad I lose it. I can fucking promise you I'm gonna do everything to change. Promise you, I'm not gonna throw around divorce. I will not say divorce unless I really mean it. Unless it's it. And then I hope you leave me.
Nice.
I'm not going to, and me too. I will leave you. It's fair. I can't do it, you know? And I think, honestly, if we hold each other accountable to that, it's fair.
Please explain to the jury what was going on in that part of the discussion.
That's the same conversation where I am, as I was accustomed to doing, I'm taking as much responsibility as I had to. In those interactions, I have to, in my relationship with Johnny, and as you have to, and somebody will not and cannot take any accountability for anything they do in a fight, as Johnny couldn't and wouldn't. I took on as much as I could for myself. I had the whole relationship been blamed for everything, for his drinking, for him hitting me, for everything in between.
So far, she's the only one that's been proven to be hitting him
as well. Blame myself for my part in it. Blame myself for staying. Blame myself for putting up with it. And frankly, at a certain point, it's easier to take the blame. Feels easier. It almost feels better to take the blame for something than to accept the senseless nature of the violence you can't change. It's almost more reassuring to take accountability for it.
All right, I just finished
than to accept the senseless nature of the violence that you can't change no matter what you do.
All right, it's white.
No matter what I did.
Move.
No matter what I did, still hit me.
I'm now going to take you to October 5, 2015.
I'm going to run to the bathroom.
Your Honor, Plaintiff's Exhibit, Depp's Exhibit 393A. It's another recording, 2:40 to 3:43. Move the admission.
No objection.
All right, 393A, plaintiffs in evidence.
Fact of the matter is, Johnny, they don't know. None of your friends, whether they saw a tiny fraction. That was the tip of an iceberg. A tip of an iceberg. That was my reaction to, yet again, this happening. That is the tip of the iceberg. And if you want to use that as some sort of mental excuse or validation of whatever, of telling your friends or whatever they think, or whatever they think about me or whatever, fine. But they only saw a tip of an iceberg. None of your friends
Let me ask you
and
a question.
none of this team have actually been there for one of our fights. They've never actually seen.
That's not true.
Really? Have they been in the hallway? Yeah.
They've
Have
heard
they seen? Baby, that is absolutely not true. They have not heard everything.
Nathan could fucking quote us.
Great, he can quote a part of it, but he has not been there. No one has actually been there for a fight in its entirety.
No, how could they?
No, exactly. So stop using that as some sort of excuse. Like, they see it, they know, they work for you, or they're your friends.
Please explain to the jury what you were discussing in that conversation.
Johnny would often use the fact that his paid employees, his loyal staff, would back him up in fights.
I did not have an Amber Turd, no.
And that he would constantly threaten to call them in to validate him. They threatened to call them to come into the room to have them back up him and say that it was, that my yelling or that I'm at fault, that I'm in the wrong, that it's all me. And he would do that in almost all of our fights, especially by 2015, that he would call his friends and he'd call his staff in to back him up, so that I knew and would accept that I'm at fault and that I'm wrong, and that was, what I had to agree to over and over again. Just even hope that we could have a conversation at some point in a more therapeutic sense, so we could move the conversation along. That was his MO, if you will. You call people that work for him to back him up.
I'm going to take you to Thanksgiving 2015. Could you please just tell the jury, and we'll go through this one relatively briefly, but tell the jury about Thanksgiving and any altercations you had with Mr. Depp on that occasion.
Thanksgiving 2015, we had friends over. Johnny had Marilyn Manson over, and I had a few of my friends over. We had his son over, and maybe my father. I'm not entirely sure how long he was there. We had dinner together. Johnny was disappearing with Manson, doing coke.
Objection calls for speculation.
Jesus Christ.
Sustain that objection.
How do you know he was disappearing with Mr. Manson with coke?
It was objected to.
That's what I knew of their relationship at the time. And he
Objection
was
calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
All right.
Yeah, shit.
So
Please continue with the
he
rest.
got up for a longer period of time, not the normal every 5 minutes to go to the bathroom kind, but like he just appeared for a longer period of time. And at this stage, I was really dependent on recognizing the patterns of what he was. I was reliant on trying to figure out what he was on, what combination he was on, so I knew how to deal with him. It was incumbent, on me, because
I don't really know how
it
to make
affected
the
my
board
safety,
bigger.
dealing
if I'm
with
gonna be
somebody
honest.
who was really high, dealing with Johnny high on coke
I can try this.
and speed, meaning Adderall or some version of that. It was
Oops, hold
different
on.
from the opiate Johnny, which is different from the booze Johnny, or a different combination. And there was talk of Quaaludes at the time, and Johnny was trying to get it from.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive.
I'll sustain the objection. Anyone else?
So I was.
Please continue.
So I wanted to know what I was dealing with. It was important to my safety to know who.
Objection, non-responsive.
I think
That's why I followed him.
Sorry.
Your Honor.
So
I'm
what
all,
did
I,
you do
I gotta fix
I'll
my
sustain the
overlays.
objection. Next question.
What did you do next?
I went upstairs to the
White
apartment, the main apartment, not the apartment that we were celebrating Thanksgiving in, to try to figure out what was going on. And we had an argument that took place downstairs, and I said something to provoke Johnny. I went up the stairs ahead of him to get back to the party. He grabbed me at the top of the stairs, kind of through the stairs actually, by my shirt. Kind of flung me a little bit, but I just remember I went into the bedroom, kind of retreated into the bedroom. I had a glass of wine in my hand at the time, which spilled everywhere and shattered, and I kind of retreated into the bedroom. Johnny came in after me, and there was this heavy, like vintage style glass decanter. He picked up the decanter and hurled it at my head, my face. It missed, thankfully, but smashed into a piece of art behind me in the bedroom wall above the bed. I got past him. I think there might have been a bit of shoving. I can't really recall and the sequence of when that happened, but I wanted to go back downstairs.
What the fuck is it?
And I past my closet. I had to change my shirt, and
How many moves? Oh,
I
that's
went back downstairs to the party to finish the evening out, and I put on a face, and we finished the evening with the guests, and then more fighting happened after.
They both
afterwards.
definitely love alcohol. Yeah, that's fucking true. Can't do.
So
no,
we
you can't go
talked
there.
about December 15, 2015,
Yeah,
last
check.
Thursday, and also the Bahamas over the holidays. But I did miss one picture. And Michelle, can you bring up Defendant's Exhibit 518?
Oh, I get it.
Amber, does that accurately depict the scene portrayed?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, I'd like to move the
Oh, shit,
admission
hold
of
on.
Defendant's Exhibit 518.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
518 defendants in evidence. You can publish.
That's
And this is from
a good
December
puzzle to know
15,
because it's more like
I believe.
end
Could
game
you just
stuff,
please tell the jury what this depicts?
like what to do in an end
Yes,
game
it's
to be
a
blocked
picture of my
upon.
bruised temple, and Johnny had his hand on my
you gotta
on
get
part
the
of my
king up
face
here.
with my face down,
And protect your pawn.
and I was
'Cause
punching my
now
head.
you're up a pawn. You can make a
No, I'm
queen,
repeatedly
or you can
punching
check
my
in
head.
here. You can go.
That's what
boom,
caused that bruise in my temple.
Thank you.
And then
Now, we went through the Bahamas
like that.
before, and you returned from
It's a
the
good puzzle.
Bahamas sometime late December, early January, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take you to January, February of 2016. Can you please describe to the jury what was going on with you and Johnny in this January timeframe after this December 15 and the Bahamas incidents?
After the Bahamas, Johnny's sobriety fell apart. There was just none of it. It was.
Black's
So he
move.
stopped communicating with the medical team that he had hired.
Objection calls for speculation.
How do you know that?
I was there. They fired him.
Objection calls for hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Without telling what the medical people did, go ahead and tell what was going on with you and Johnny.
Yeah, his mental health, for lack of what it looked like, his mental health was just falling apart. It's what it looked like.
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
What did you observe that led you to believe that his mental health was falling apart?
He was
Objection, Your Honors. Calls for
She
speculation.
can say what she
Leading.
observed.
I'll sustain the objection as to leading. Next question.
What,
Yeah,
if
these are
anything,
easier
did
puzzles.
you observe
This is
about
the
Mr.
daily puzzle.
Depp's, state?
He was hallucinating, auditory.
Objection calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Please tell the jury exactly what he was doing that led you to believe he was hallucinating.
Objection leading.
Sustained.
What, if anything, was Mr. Depp doing that would have led you
How
to
many
believe
tries
he
do you
was
get?
hallucinating?
Same objection.
Sustained. Sustained.
What?
Sustained.
Please
This is a
describe-
fucking judge. I'm sorry. The judge is literally just like sustained before the lawyer can even get out the next phrasing. How many tries does she get? I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know like how all this works. But she's clearly like not able to ask this question and find the. Oh my god, this is hilarious. Hold on.
What, if anything, was Mr. Depp doing that would have led you to believe he was hallucinating?
Same objection.
Sustained. Sustained.
What? Please describe what Mr. Depp was saying in January of 2016.
He was talking to people who weren't there, meaning people who were not in the room. He was communicating with people and sounds and voices
She has
that
as
weren't
many
there.
tries
I
as
know
she
because
wants.
I was sometimes in the room and
figured,
sometimes
yeah.
on the phone with him.
Just insane.
And he would tell me I had a conversation with him that I did not have. He would say I said something that I didn't have. He would comment on somebody being in the room behind me that wasn't there. It was terrifying. It was terrifying because, you know, once he smashed a board right next to my face, and it was unclear to me whether he was even mad at me or he was convinced that the guy he said he saw me with was in the room. I didn't know if Johnny felt the man was in the room with us or not at that point. But I remember he put his fist to a whiteboard in the kitchen. He hallucinated right in front of me. And
Objection calls for speculation.
Don't use the word hallucinate. Just describe what led you to believe.
Your Honor, objection.
I'll sustain the objection. She can testify to what she observed.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Please tell the jury what you
Your Honor,
observed.
may we approach?
Okay.
Yeah, dude, Depp's lawyer's like, can we just have enough of this bullshit? How many times do I got to object to this? So, like, this is just slowing down the court. Johnny's like, Jesus. Oh man, he's got good lawyers to say that. I mean, it's pretty like I guess I don't say easy case, but like they're calling out, you know, they're objecting, right? They're not just sitting back and letting it happen. Because their lawyers, if they didn't object, they'd be allowed to say all these things.
Please tell the jury what you observed.
Bro, a lot of objections, Dylan. A lot of objections in the last minute.
I observed behavior from him that was erratic.
What's the next move, guys?
Irrational and didn't seem connected to the reality that we were in.
I think it might be.
Now, I'm going to take you up to
This
the
pond looks
beginning
juicy.
of February of
She's hallucinating.
2016, February 8, February 9. Please tell the jury what transpired then with respect to Mr. Depp.
Around this time, Johnny was, again, behaving in a way that was very scary. It was terrifying.
So scary. Johnny's so
and
scary.
sometimes he
Johnny's
didn't
so
know.
scary. My God. Oh boy, I broke the stream. What happened? Johnny's so scary, it broke the stream. I don't know why I'm with him. Her lawyer has the most annoying voice. I don't know. Her voice is pretty annoying. All right, so this is the video doing this. It's actually playing right now, so we'll just have to wait until it gets back to normal. It froze on their end. What happened?
With him, I had done nothing wrong,
Pawn
but
to
I was really
A5.
worried that the momentum he was on
Incorrect.
was going to click into a direction of deciding that he was
Huh, that's
mad
not
at
it
me
either.
and I deserved it. And I was terrified that that was going to happen. So I had an interaction with
Checkmate.
him and got really worried about that. On the morning
That was
of the
easy.
10th.
I just was
All
overthinking
right.
it.
Michelle, I'm going to ask you to bring up Defendant's Exhibit 638. It's already admitted in evidence, Your Honor. And this is from February 10, 2016. And I'm going to ask you to play it, Michelle.
What are we watching here?
Motherfucker! Motherfucker!
What happened?
They shown this yet?
What happened?
Did he cut his hand? I'm always wearing sunglasses and a fucking cowboy hat inside. Like, that's the most Johnny Depp thing. He's pissed.
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
Were you in here?
No.
So then nothing happened to you this morning.
Yeah, you're right. I just woke up and you were so sweet and nice. We were not even fighting this morning. All I did was say sorry.
Did something happen to you this morning? I don't think so.
No, that's the thing.
You want to see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. That's crazy.
Is that a ball jar glass? That's a pretty cool
Have you
thing.
drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really? Really? Sneak that shit on me,
No,
motherfucker.
I didn't. You were smashing shit.
Bye.
It's a mega pint. Fucking mega pint. They just have issues, don't they?
Why did you
I'm
videotape
gonna
this?
be honest, like, I'd be upset, like, if I was being recorded in my own home and didn't know about it. Like, that would bother me.
Remember?
Objection, calls for speculation.
I'm not saying, like, she can't do it. I don't know if she can or not. I don't know how all that
Rather than
works,
what
but
you knew, you can
that
say
would
what you
probably
thought.
bother me, because you
Tell
don't feel like you have any
why you-
privacy.
I was afraid.
Yeah, mega pints matter.
It's scary. It's scary. I'm scared.
Then why?
Scary
I don't get
didn't
why she.
remember.
If she's that
Objection,
afraid
calls
of
for
him and it's
speculation.
that bad, like, I don't know,
Sustained the
get out of the relationship then.
All right.
I don't know. She
So
bugs
I'm
the shit out
going
of me.
to now take you up to April 21, 2016, your 30th birthday party. Will you please tell the jury what happened that night with respect to, in particular, Mr. Depp?
He at that time we had a fitting that day or the day before, and he missed it, and he was kind of disappearing at that time, like at night, vaguely saying like meetings. He had meetings, but then he'd be gone for sometimes like 2 days, just not coming home and that sort of thing. Coming home after a bender
calls for speculation
worse.
as to Bender.
I don't think that calls for speculation.
I'll sustain the objection.
Oh, yeah, the judge thinks it does. God damn.
I had my birthday was coming up, and it was, or on my birthday, I said, well, are you gonna make it to my birthday party? We had a dinner planned at our penthouse. I said it would be important for me if you made it.
Objection, hearsay.
Not after the prove the truth of the matter, sir. Thank you.
And he told me at some point that day that he had scheduled a business meeting or a money meeting, I think he said, maybe, at 7, which is around the time my birthday was planned for. It might have been planned for 8 p.m. He, of course, once my party was starting, he wasn't there. Texted me at some point to let me know that he was going to make it, but that he was running late. And that continued throughout my party. We finished dinner, and when we were cleaning up and kind of everyone was delaying leaving because we were waiting to give him an opportunity to show up before everyone left. And he let me know he was there. I tried to, without saying what I said, I tried to give him the impression that I wasn't going to get on him about drinking or anything. I just wanted him to be there. And we had a toast. We did a celebratory toast. And the guests left. And later that evening, we were in bed, and I had a book, and Johnny effectively said, what's your fucking problem now? And at the time we were getting advice from therapists without saying what they said. It was important for me not to make him feel attacked. So I chose my words carefully. I won't say what I said, but I remember being very careful about how I worded what I was feeling.
She's so innocent in all this, isn't she?
Him having
God,
missed
that's
it.
how she makes it sound like she's done no harm, no
An
wrong at all.
argument followed that. I got up out of bed. Johnny's side of the bed was closer to the door than mine.
I don't know. I'm stuck on what the move is.
I remember him blocking the door,
White's
wanting me to get out, kind of shoving me down, and we had a verbal argument, and then that became a shoving match. I tried to shove him back. I kind of felt myself retreat into the bedroom. At some point, he picked up a large, I guess it's a Magnum size, not a normal size, a large size bottle of champagne, and hurled it at me.
Magnum size? Is that what the fuck she just said?
Through a painting, and I loved this painting. I remember it just went like right through the canvas.
Baby, get the Magnum. The Magnum? Yeah, the wine. Oh.
I remember thinking we shouldn't have art in our bedroom anymore. The fight continued into the salon area, which was outside of our bedroom at the top of the stairs. Johnny picked up my phone. I don't know why. I don't remember what he was saying when he did it, but he picked up my phone.
Well, Vanessa, I think they're already divorced, right? So that's already done. He's trying to sue her because they kicked him off Pirates of the Caribbean for all the shit she said about him that there's no proof of. He's like lost or hasn't been able to get other work, and he's basically just cost him a fuck ton of money. So it's a defamation case. Like, she's just trying to make herself look good, like by saying she has no fault at all. This is all true based off of no evidence, but she's just telling an elaborate story, and her lawyer has just been basically asking her questions, allowing her to tell an elaborate story for the past 8 days. So maybe more. I don't know how many days it's been now. Split it 50-50? Yeah, but she didn't lose anything because of him. That's the thing. Like, she's entitled to no money. Like, there's no reason she should get any money. And if they split it 50-50, all they're doing is paying each other the same amount of money, and therefore nobody's... They should just drop the case, then, is what you're saying. Because it's the money is coming from one or the other. I don't know. So, like, she's basically had no financial loss because of all this, and he's had all the financial loss. I don't know, honestly. I honestly don't know if she's going to win this. Or, I mean, if he's going to win this, sorry. Who knows? He could very well lose this, but I don't think it really matters. I think he'll be all right. He'll get, hopefully. Who knows? It's fucking weird nowadays.
Held me, wrestled me down on the bed. I remember I got up once or twice before I ended up on the bed, and he grabbed me, did this thing that he did sometimes. He would taunt me, grabbed me by the pubic bone, pubic area. Just as best I can describe it, is he kind of just pushed me down, held me down by it, and kind of pulled me into it, and he was asking me, kind of taunting me, asking me if I thought I was so fucking tough. You're such a fucking tough guy, huh? Are you so tough now? Look who's so tough. You want to be a man?
What the fuck
tough like
is
a
happening?
Man now. That happened for a bit of time.
All right, nobody knows the chess move here, guys. I mean, nobody's gonna help me.
I think at some point he left. I remember at some point shortly after that, I remember he was still in the apartment when this happened, but I remember kind of collapsing on the floor and being exhausted. It's just, I remember feeling exhausted and crying and kind of throwing in the towel, if you will. I remember saying to him, just, can we not fight like this? Like, can we start over? Is there anything that we can do? Like, this is really messed up, but can we just not do this, please? Can we stop doing this?
Yeah, I don't think...
Just don't leave.
Well, I think Jack Sparrow's going to come back.
Let's just call it...
But I don't think it'll be Johnny Depp. They'll probably, like
I don't want to
put some new... I don't know.
Like this.
That's the thing. How do you do Jack Sparrow without Johnny Depp? I don't know. I don't know if you can.
And I remember crying and feeling ridiculous.
You think they'll try, though? That's the question.
Crying and saying these things. I'm embarrassed saying it now. He responded cruelly. He told me it's what I fucking deserve, and that I'd wake up alone, and that no one would ever love me because all of this, pointing to my face or body, all of this was gonna go away. No one would ever love me. Or my tits sag, no one ever loved me, and I better get used to waking up alone. And he said this was all my fault and what I asked for. And he left. I heard him come back in the downstairs. You know, you can hear the door slam. I remember hearing it open and thinking, oh God, is this gonna happen again? What's going on now? And then shortly after, I kind of peeked around to the top of the stairs where you can kind of peer into the lower level. And I just see him briefly, momentarily, and he just screams at me, happy fucking birthday, and stormed out. At some point, I walked downstairs and saw that he had also left me a note to that effect.
I think you're going to lose
How did he leave a note for you?
I was written on a piece of paper as best I can recall, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's not a good trade then.
And so then the next day...
See, I thought maybe if you sacrifice the bishop... sacrifice the bishop, you open up the B file.
I can't say what I texted. I woke up that morning, the morning of my 30th birthday.
What the fuck?
And I woke up to my best friend crawling in bed with me.
Okay, I mean, I was kind of on the right track. I just the wrong move order, I guess.
And I remember wondering how she walked in.
So you sacrificed the
because
rook.
there's a glass on the floor. There's lots of glass.
And you can put the king in check.
And she put her arms around me and showed me a birthday video that all of my...
Oh, that's checkmate.
friends, my childhood friends,
forgot
all
'cause
my
you
loved
got
ones
the-
made. Of course, stupidly, the first thing I asked her is why
Yeah,
Johnny wasn't in the video, because it had been recorded before. It had been recorded sometime before it was clear.
The curse of
And
Amber
she
Church.
said
Jesus.
that she'd been asking for a few months, and Johnny just,
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
I offered to prove the truth.
All right, I'll overrule. Go ahead.
and so
Jack Sparrow's a female now.
we eventually
Jackie
got
Sparrow.
out of my bed and
It's ma'am.
grabbed a few things and got the dogs. Left for
Black to move.
our plans,
okay.
which our plans had been to
You have
go
an
to
end
Coachella,
game.
which is a music festival that happens in California.
Coachella? Is that
And
what
that
she said?
had been the plan for a while. That's how we would go and celebrate my birthday. And I remember, as I am accustomed to doing, just trying to move through it, move on, and remember in vain trying to put on a brave face and have a good time, even though it was impossible.
Let me stop you for a few things. What, if any, plans were there for Mr. Depp to join you at Coachella?
He was supposed to drive down, have dinner.
Any of y'all been to Coachella?
Stay
Never been to Coachella.
in the room, maybe do some writing or something like that in the room.
At Coachella?
At Coachella, where we were. Coachella happens in a different part of California than we lived in. We lived in Los Angeles, and this happens about 2 to 3 hours away. So I finally got in my car back, and I drove with my best friends in the car.
And I'm going to stop you again because I just have a couple more questions before we go into that part. You said you brought the dogs. Who were the dogs you brought?
Johnny's dog, at the time, Boo. My dog, Pistol. We shared them. They're teacup
dog stepped on a
Yorkies,
bee?
and I believe Raquel, my best friend's dog,
Wait,
which is a
what?
mutt.
Okay. What, if any, issues
mutt?
did Boo have with bathroom problems, if you will?
Objection, leading and relevance.
Overruled. I'll allow it.
She had eaten Johnny's weed when she was a puppy and had bowel control issues for her entire life, among some other issues. She was, we regularly had to take her to the vet to try to figure out, well, what was wrong with this dog. Never met a dog that was quite like this. So she had some control issues, hence why we would.
Why not that?
She liked to burrow in the bed. She liked to be in the, by the foot of the bed underneath the covers, and it was customary that they slept in bed with us. But Boo, having the issues she had, we have to leave her in bed so that she wouldn't be encouraged to go to the bathroom, which would happen almost immediately once you put her down on the floor. And sometimes it happened in bed too. But yeah.
So what, if anything, did you notice about any bathroom issues in your bed before you left for Coachella?
Well, Raquel and I were both in that bed with the dogs, and I didn't notice anything, but we left them in the bed while we packed a bag to go to Coachella, so that Boo particularly didn't lose control of her didn't go to the bathroom on the floor. So we leave them in bed until you're ready to take them outside to the patio, which is their designated bathroom break area.
And what, if any, plans were there? How often did you have housekeeping at that time at your house?
The housekeepers were there every morning.
Okay.
Or they came every day, as far as I know.
Okay. Now, we'll get you to Coachella, but why did you tell Starling
Get shit to
Jenkins
Coachella.
that you had been involved in a prank gone wrong?
Objection, hearsay, leading.
I said why, Your Honor. I didn't say what she said.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Okay.
Nope.
Did you commit any kind of prank?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
And why would that not be something you would do?
Wait, what?
First of all, I don't think that's funny. I don't know what a grown woman does. I was
What did
not
she
also
say?
in a pranking mood. My life was falling apart. I was at a crossroads in my life that was really serious, and I had just been attacked on my 30th birthday by my violent husband with whom I was desperately in love and knew I needed to leave. It was not really a jovial time, and I don't think that's funny, period. That's disgusting.
And what, if any, understanding did you have
Even
of
asked the
Mr.
question.
Depp coming back to your bedroom that night or the next morning?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm asking what her understanding was.
No, I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Had you had any conversations with Mr. Depp about him coming back to the house the next day?
No, Donnie didn't come back to that house. That was my...
Wait, she's saying the dogs pooped on the bed, not
he
her?
owned it, but that was my house when we were having any sort of problem. In fact, that was my house just 90% of the time.
Is that what you're
because
saying?
He just didn't come back.
I missed it.
That was not a place that Johnny was going to be in, that Johnny was in, and he had stormed out on my birthday, and as per what we did, he would go and stay at his West Hollywood
yeah, let's
home,
talk
and
about the
I
turd.
would stay at the downtown places. He wasn't going to come back to the
Objection
Eastern
calls for
Columbia.
speculation.
I think she explained her answer on that one, what she
I'll
thought.
sustain the last
Denied.
part. Okay, next
Thank
question.
you.
Next
All right.
question.
So let's take you to Coachella. Who drove?
I drove.
Okay. And who was in your vehicle?
My sister, my friend Savannah, I believe, my best friend Raquel, just my
that's
girlfriends.
dumb move.
I typically surround myself with my girlfriends. It's my sport.
Blunder.
Was there any
Go back.
occasion in which you were riding in the vehicle that Starling Jenkins was driving?
He picked us up from Coachella in the evening when we, as a group, all were ready to leave. That was the day that we went, which was the day that I took MDMA and mushrooms at the same time. Realized very shortly after what a horrible idea that was, considering the state that my life was in. I highly don't recommend that
the dog's name
combination
is
at the
Boo?
time. So I didn't feel like being in a crowd. I didn't feel like being
She
at
said her
Coachella.
dog ate
I
Amber's-
had intended
or
to
his
try to
Chinese
have a good
cocaine.
time
It's probably her
despite
cocaine. She
what
knows
was
how to
going
do
on in
cocaine.
my personal
You kidding me?
life, and I realized that that was just not going to happen. And so I wanted to go home. Meaning to be in a bed. I wanted to be, I just wanted to be held by my best friend and watch a movie. And that's what we did. I didn't feel well and wanted to leave.
And when you said you rode back with Starling Jenkins, was it just you, or did you have other people in the vehicle with you?
When we left Coachella, it was my entire group. I wasn't ever alone with Starling. I certainly wasn't anywhere near him. I didn't have a conversation with him. I sat in the very back seat with my best friend next to me, and it was a whole group of us.
Thank you. Your Honor, I don't know. This might be a good breaking.
Wait,
All right,
what?
that's fine. Okay, ladies, let's go ahead
Oh,
and
I'm
take our
fucking
morning
dumb.
recess. Do not discuss the case with anybody, and don't do any outside research. We'll take 15 minutes, okay?
I gotta redo that. I liked where that was going there. That moves. All right, we got a little recess. She hasn't recovered from the mushrooms. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, let's move past this recess. Skip ahead a bit. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a snack.
Does that make sense? Okay.
All right, ready for the jury then? Yes, thank you. All right.
You want to go to the cross?
Ralph Lauren's team, and I sat next to an empty place setting for Johnny that they cleared as soon as we realized that he effectively stood me up on the carpet.
Who did you meet at the Met Gala?
I was
We'll go to the cross
standing
in a couple
line,
minutes,
right
once my
in front
noodles are
of,
done.
A gentleman, it was Elon. I didn't recognize him until we,
Oh, here comes
started
Elon.
talking. And he had reminded me that we had met once before. He was with his mother.
And did you strike up a friendship with Mr. Musk after that?
We did. We, as I mentioned, we spoke on the red carpet, kind of in the waiting line of the carpet.
Look at her face light up. Look at
he
her
seemed
face
like
light up.
Like a real gentleman. He was really nice. And he sat next to me. Well, not next to me. He sat kind of at a nearby table, and we got to speaking that night and then eventually became friends.
Ooh.
I'm going to, Michelle, can you pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 46? It's already in evidence. It's Aaron Filati's notes. And I'm going to ask you to go to page 30.
I like your meme.
And I'm going to direct your attention to the entry for 5/11/2016, where it
Nice.
says,
Good.
if I can see, here we go. Let me see if I can do some reasonable highlighting here. Okay, it says client laughed and also reported using illicit
Imagine
drugs,
bringing Elon
mushrooms,
into
and
the courtroom.
MDMA on 5/9/2016 at home with a high-profile male
that was a good
acquaintance.
one.
Client reported that her husband was not aware
High
of the male visitor.
her face lit up
nor
so much
her
when she talked
illicit
about
drug
Musk.
use. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Who was the high-profile male acquaintance that visited your home on 5/9/2016?
I don't recall even being in LA at that time.
Where were you?
I don't recall. I believe I was in London at the time.
Okay. Did you have a male high-profile client at your home in or around 5/9/2016?
Not around that date. It seems like it's a wrong date.
Okay. And did you
It
use
was another
illicit
day.
drugs, mushrooms, and MDMA with any high-profile client?
No, I did that at the Coachella Music Festival, and that was the end of that. I learned the hard way that that was a terrible idea.
Shit on his
All
bed
right.
too.
Well,
Imagine her
while
shitting
we
on
are
Elon's
on
bed.
these same notes, I'm going to refer to the Coachella, which is up above, and it says it states she ingested mushrooms and MDMA simultaneously while also consuming alcohol, and states she vomited and was high for at least 24 hours straight. Were you high for at least 24 hours straight?
No, I was not. I felt awful, but I was at home feeling awful. At home, meaning at the hotel, with my best friend in bed.
Okay. Well, while I'm still on these notes, let's go. I know while Aaron Filati was testifying, we recall the 5/21/2016 isn't on here. You'd sent her pictures, correct?
Yes, I
Okay.
did.
Then let's go to 5/26/2016, and it says, client reports having the hardest week of my life. Client states she cannot deal with the negative media publicity she has received. And then if we can jump that up, Michelle, to the next page, surrounding the divorce she requested from her husband, J.D. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. When did you go in for the DVTRO?
May 27th.
So that was the day after Aaron Filati's note saying you just had the toughest week of your life?
That's correct.
Okay. while we are still
you guys
on
wanna
this
skip
one,
to
let's
cross?
go up to the first page for the client history.
You guys want to skip to cross, or you want to keep watching this?
When did you provide a client history to Aaron Filati?
Never.
When did you first get assigned Aaron Filati?
Seems like her lawyer is not doing her any favors right now.
Of 2014.
Okay. Now,
Not
it
able to tell
says
her story.
here that client reports a history of substance abuse, including an addiction to cocaine and liquor.
Elon and Amber have a child together?
When did you have a
Right.
history of substance abuse, including addiction to cocaine and liquor?
I did not. There's a lot of mistakes in here.
Okay. Did you ever use cocaine?
I have. I used cocaine.
Well, she admits to using cocaine. All right. It's like a minute before you told me, but we'll just watch leading up. All right, we got Cross. Dude, I'm excited for the Cross. I don't know, did Cross finish today, or are they going to continue on tomorrow? We'll see, I guess, but I expect it not to be nearly as long as her lawyer. Oh, are they going to bring her sister up there? I don't believe you. I don't believe they have a child together. There's no way. Really? I don't believe you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Be seated. Cross-examination.
Gotcha. Cross.
Good
It goes
afternoon,
tomorrow
Ms.
as well.
Heard.
Good afternoon.
Wait, what's up, Blue?
Mr. Depp hasn't looked at you once this entire trial, has he?
Not that I've noticed, no.
You've
Wow.
looked at him, though, many times, haven't
Coming
you?
out strong.
Yes, I have.
You know exactly why Mr. Depp won't look back at you, don't you?
I do.
He promised you you would never see his eyes again. Isn't that true?
I don't recall if he said that.
One of the last times you ever saw
Holy
Mr. Depp
shit! Let's
was when
go!
you met him in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
That was the second to last time I saw him, yes.
And this was after you had publicly accused him of domestic violence.
I got my restraining order before that, yes. Mm-hmm.
And this is after you had obtained the domestic violence restraining order against him.
That's correct.
Let's please play Plaintiff's
Should've made
Exhibit
popcorn.
1229. For the record, it's at 1101 through 1209. I'm going to ask that it be admitted into evidence.
Any objection to 1229?
Yes.
All right. 1229. You want to enter it in its entirety?
Yes, please.
Okay. 1229 entered in its entirety. Go ahead and play your section.
I don't understand. Is this what you want?
No. Oh, no, a hug will save it all. All this, everything we just been
I just wanted to touch you.
through. Really? After all this shit you just said?
I just wanted to give
After
you a
all this
hug.
shit you fucking accused me of? You
Yes,
want to
please,
touch me?
please stop me.
Fucking,
Please stop.
you're fucking nuts.
Please, I just wanted to hug you and say bye. I didn't want to take it back.
We did that last night. It's fine. That was good enough.
No, hold on.
No, because I'm nothing to you, and I will always be nothing to you.
Calm. Calm.
What? You're not my shrink.
Your hands are hot. Please just calm my heart.
No, you're in a fucking hole.
Oh, no, can I just say something?
No, we'll never see each other again. You won't even don't take my fucking glasses off. You don't like fucking looking at not my fucking eyes? You will not see my eyes again.
Whoa, there it is. That's the promise.
That's you and Mr. Depp in that recording.
That is.
I gotta say, I'm gonna pause it real quick. I love it because she asked her a question. Did he promise you that? She goes, I don't recall. She's like, okay, well, let me play it and recall it for you. All right, it's clean.
And this is from when you and Mr. Depp met in San Francisco in July of 2016, right?
Yes, that's what it sounds like. That was in the hotel. We met once after that as well.
This is after you publicly accused him of domestic abuse.
Yes, and got my TRO.
Yeah. And he tells you you will not see my eyes again, doesn't he?
Yes, he does in that recording.
And he kept that promise, hasn't he?
As far as I know, he cannot look at me.
He won't look at you, right, Ms. Heard?
He can't.
Oh, there's a big
One of the
difference.
first questions your counsel asked you on direct is, why are you here? Do you remember that?
I do.
Let's please play Plaintiff Exhibit 357A, which is already in evidence, Your Honor. And for the record, it's 2122 through 2140.
Fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and
Yes.
it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
That's
See
your
that?
voice
Oh,
on that recording,
that's the
right?
type of shit
Yes,
I'm
it is.
talking about.
And you were speaking with Mr. Depp?
Yes.
And you said to Mr. Depp, quote, you can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and the judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, a man, a victim too of domestic violence, end quote. That's what you said, right?
I was saying it to the man who beat me up, yes. I thought it was preposterous.
And the man you
She
beat
is
up
so
numerous times.
Oh, she comes off so
Right,
bad.
Ms. Heard?
I could never hurt Johnny.
You're here in this courtroom because Mr.
That's
Depp finally
bullshit.
told the world that he's a victim of domestic violence.
Say like a female could never
I
hurt a
know
man.
that he is
It's
suing
ridiculous.
me, and has sued other people or corporations that have said that as well.
You didn't think he would tell the world he was a victim of domestic violence, did you?
This lawyer's good and she
I
touched Johnny a lot.
found it hard to believe that he could or that he
Bro, I'd let that lawyer,
would do
you know what I'm
that, considering the relationship he and I had. I thought it would be crazy for him to do so, knowing what I know we lived through.
Or, as you said to him in that recording, who was going to believe that Johnny Depp, a man, is a victim of domestic violence, right?
Who could ever believe
With
that?
all due respect, I wasn't saying it because he's a man. I was saying it because he was a man who beat me up for 5 years.
Mr. Depp is your victim, isn't he?
Yes.
No, ma'am.
And once he left you, you continued to abuse him publicly by calling him an abuser, didn't you?
He is an abuser, and you can look either of us up online and figure out who's being abused online.
Let's look at some of that. Mr.
Oh, I
Depp
love
wears
it. Let's
rings on
do
every
it. Let's
finger,
do
doesn't
it.
he, Ms. Heard?
Let's do it.
That's my experience, yes.
And they're not delicate rings, are they?
No, they are not.
Every one of his fingers is adorned, your words, big, chunky rings. Isn't that right?
That's my experience of him.
And Mr. Depp is always wearing rings, right, Ms. Heard?
That's my experience of him.
And you've never known him not to wear these rings.
That's my experience, is he normally wore rings, yes.
So Mr. Depp was wearing these big, chunky rings on every finger, every incident of abuse you've
there was
described to
Maiden
this jury,
too.
right?
I can't say for certain it was in every single
Gotta
incident.
figure this out.
But you've never known him not to wear rings, right?
In general, my experience with Johnny is that he wears rings almost all the time.
She's not playing. She's not playing in cross.
Ms. Heard, do you recall giving testimony
Johnny's
in a
lawyer, at
deposition
least.
in this matter in January of this year?
I do.
Can we please
This is
play
like a puzzle in itself right here. Got Maiden 2. What's Maiden?
from your deposition, day 2, 512, page 512, lines 11 through 15?
You said he hit you, and he was wearing.
Which
rings,
lawyer? The female
right?
lawyer
Ms. Heard
touches
said
him?
He hit you with
Or the male lawyer next to him?
rings on every finger.
I
don't know if I've ever known Johnny to not wear rings.
Yeah.
Ms. Heard, you testified to an incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times. Do you recall that?
That's correct.
And you testified, quote, you don't know how many times he hit you in the face.
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp hit you in the face multiple times while he was wearing rings on this occasion, correct?
Which occasion in March are you referencing? You weren't
The
specific.
testimony that you gave on day 15 of this trial, March of 2013. You weren't specific as to the day.
There were several incidents.
The one where he hit you several times in the face.
There were I'm sorry, just so I understand better, there were several incidents in March. Which one are you asking me about?
The time that he hit you several times in the face wearing rings.
Well, he pretty much
March
always...
of 2013.
Right. What are you asking me? I'm sorry.
He was wearing rings on that occasion?
I pretty much always knew him to wear rings.
Okay, let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit
You can't remember. It's just that,
170A,
I don't know. That's
which is already in
backed into a
evidence, Your
corner.
Honor. You testified that this is a picture you took after that incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that was one where he grabbed me.
And hit you in the face so many times that you don't remember. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no injuries to your face in this picture, are there?
Not that this picture shows.
And there's
Doesn't
no
even look
medical
like her.
records reflecting that you sought treatment after this alleged incident either.
I did not seek medical treatment at this time.
So there's no medical records reflecting any injuries to your face after he hit you several times,
I did not need to go to the doctor at the time.
despite hitting you several times that you lost count with rings on on his fingers.
Yeah, hitting you so
That's
many times you
correct.
could not
I did not
remember
seek medical attention.
that you have no
Other than my
showing
therapist.
of it, and you didn't go to the doctor, and you didn't go to the police.
You testified to another incident in March of 2013 where Mr. Depp hit you while he was wearing a lot of rings. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
And you testified you felt like your lip went through your teeth and it got a little blood on the wall.
Yes, I remember that.
There isn't a picture of you with injuries after that alleged incident, is there?
I don't know if I've seen
So
one.
I got mate in 3.
I can't
not
recall.
mate
There are a
in
lot of
2.
pictures.
You didn't produce any photographs after that alleged incident, did you, Ms.
I don't know if I took one or if it's included. I'm not quite sure which ones.
You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that alleged incident that your teeth, your lip went into your teeth. You don't remember that, right? You didn't show any pictures to this jury after describing that incident, right?
I don't believe I've seen that picture admitted.
That picture doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I don't know which one
Exactly.
you're talking about.
That's funny.
We have pictures from March 2013, yes.
The only picture that you've produced and shown to this jury is the one that was just put up on the screen, where you said he hit you multiple times in the face, and you appear to have what is a bruise on your arm, correct?
I believe this is the only picture that's in evidence right now.
That's the only picture you've shown to this jury from March 2013, correct?
I believe so.
You testified about an incident in Russia on or about June 26, 2013. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that Mr. Depp, quote, whacked you in the face.
That's correct.
And you went to the bathroom after that, right?
I did.
And then, according to your testimony, when you came out of the bathroom, Jerry Judge, Mr. Depp's security guard, who's passed away, pointed out that your nose was bleeding, right?
He did that in the hallway.
And you said you hadn't known that your nose was bleeding until Jerry Judge pointed it out to you?
Yes, that's correct. I was unaware until he brought it up to me. I didn't see it when I was in the bathroom, but I wasn't looking.
So it's your testimony that you went into the bathroom and didn't look in the mirror, which I assume was in the bathroom, to notice that your nose was bleeding?
That's not why I went into the bathroom. I went into the bathroom crying. I don't even know if I paid attention to the mirror. I certainly didn't enough to notice any blood.
And you didn't take any pictures of your bloody nose either,
She's
did
so
you?
full of shit.
I did
I don't
not.
know, man.
But pictures were taken of you in Russia, though. Isn't that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We had a press.
Oh,
I
Bon.
didn't-
Awesome. All right,
Let's
well, you have a
please
good
pull up
one.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1248.
Thanks for hanging out.
Ms. Heard, this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp in Russia, correct?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit.
All right, no objection. 1248 in evidence. You can publish.
And this is you and Mr. Depp in Russia for the Lone Ranger premiere, correct?
It was a dinner function, I believe, in promotion of the movie. Wasn't the premiere, if I recall.
You don't have any visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1249. This is a picture of you, isn't it right?
That's correct.
I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 1249.
All right, 1249 in evidence.
Did they just ignore her lawyer, like Heard's lawyer?
This is also a picture
I heard an
from when you were
objection
in
and I
Russia
just
for the
didn't
Lone
hear anything
Ranger
else.
premiere, right?
That is correct.
And you have no visible injuries to your face, do you?
None that you can see.
Woo! Spicy!
Even though
None that
Mr.
you can
Depp whacked
see.
you in the face so hard that your nose bled?
He did.
He did, but you can't see
While
anything.
wearing chunky big rings, right?
That's correct.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, I could.
You also
I could
testified that
tell-
Mr. Depp
I can tell the
again,
world I have a
whacked
six
you
pack,
in the
but it doesn't
face
mean
after
it's
the
true,
Met Gala
you
in
know?
May of 2014,
How do you
right?
just say it's?
That
how
is
do you
correct.
say it? It's not.
You testified that you thought he hit you so hard he broke your nose.
The judge ignores
That's
her
correct.
sometimes.
You said your nose was, quote,
Swear.
swollen, discolored, red.
That is correct. I took a picture of that.
You
Prove it.
testified you took a picture of your face after this.
I did.
But you didn't show that picture to the jury, did you?
I would like to.
But you didn't show it, did you?
That's not up to me.
Yes, it is. Isn't it? How is it
I
not?
understand you were under an obligation to produce all photographs after any alleged incidents of violence, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
You didn't produce any photographs after the Met Gala.
I produced everything.
Gosh, she's. Look at her eyes. She's
You
fucking
also
creeping me
understand
out,
that
man.
you're under an obligation to produce all medical records reflecting any injuries you allegedly sustained from Mr. Depp, correct?
I produced everything.
And you haven't produced any pictures or any medical records reflecting a broken nose after the Met Gala in May of 2014, have you?
I have given everything to my lawyers. Everything. I've turned over literally everything that I have.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Heard, that you sought medical treatment after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose after the Met Gala?
Have a good one,
Not
Bond.
after the Met Gala. I did not seek
Cheers.
medical attention, no.
You also attended an event
fun with your
after the Met
grandbaby.
Gala in May of
Enjoy.
2014, didn't you?
That is correct.
And you went to the All-Star Comedy Tribute to Don Rickles.
That is correct.
That was the next night after the Met Gala.
That is correct.
And there were pictures of you taken at this event.
Yes.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1252. This is a picture of you, Ms. Heard,
Yes, it is.
at
That's
that
not what I
event.
wanted to do.
Yes, it is.
The night after the Met Gala,
Yes, it is.
the night after Mr. Depp allegedly broke your nose.
I'm not sure if it was broken, for the record, but yeah, you should see what it looked like underneath the makeup.
He whacked
Yeah, we
you so
should.
hard in the
We
face
would
that you
love
thought
to see it.
You had broken your nose.
We would love to
Exactly.
see it.
Right. Permission to admit this photograph.
All right, 1252 in evidence.
This is a picture of you, Mr. Depp, and Don Rickles, right?
That is correct.
Wait a second.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1253. This is another picture from that evening, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, it is.
Permission to admit Exhibit 1253 and publish it.
All right, so moved. 1253 in evidence.
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp at the event the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he had broken your nose.
He did whack me in the face, and I did think it broke my nose.
Fuck.
And this is you the night after.
Yes, it is.
Have you ever had your nose
Let's please
broken?
pull
Anybody
up
in here?
Plaintiff's Exhibit
'Cause I have.
1254.
You. I don't, and this is
This is
anecdotal.
also a picture of you at the same event.
This is completely anecdotal. I had my nose broke, and it wasn't even that bad of a break, right? It wasn't like a really bad break or anything, but I got hit in the face, right between the eyes, the lacrosse ball, and it like barely kind of broke like the top of my nose here. Just kind of fucked it up a bit, right? I got a badass bloody nose. Both of my eyes got black as fuck and swelled up a bit. Like, you definitely know when you break your nose, I feel like. You know, it's not like you can just break your nose and have no showing of it. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a fucking doctor. I don't know. All I know is I didn't break my nose that bad, and my fucking eyes got black as shit, and I had a bad bloody nose and everything, and yeah, wasn't.
Correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1254.
All right, 1254 in evidence. You can publish. Thank you.
And just to confirm now that the jury can see it, this is a picture of you at the same event, the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That was a question.
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. Makeup covers up.
This is the video's bad audio, not me. It's cut out. I wonder if it's the same on this stream, but I don't know if they posted it yet. I don't have the whole stream posted. So for some reason the audio is cut out. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with the nose bleeding, I think that's kind of can change because I get bad bloody noses anyways, or used to. Not breaking my nose, but yeah, like if you get hit in the face hard enough that you have a broken nose, usually you're gonna have some like swelling and black eye kind of redness in the eyes. And I don't know if makeup can't cover up scars on your arm. I don't know how you can cover up all that shit on your face without, I don't know, maybe you can. I don't know about makeup. I'm not a makeup artist. The fuck do I know? You want B4? B4, really? All right. Look at her lawyer's having a seizure over here. That booty. Listen to the sound. It could hide the discoloration, but not the swelling. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I shouldn't comment on makeup stuff. I don't know anything about makeup. Said the ice healed the broken nose the next day. Dude, I don't know. My fucking face was fucked up for like a good couple weeks. Like at least you could see it visibly. But again, I didn't wear makeup. Man, they are really working the judge here. Bro, how long does this go for? I think I can barely hear it. Okay, there we go.
Ms. Heard, you testified that in January of 2015, there was an incident in Tokyo before Mr. Depp's Mordecai, the film Mordecai's premiere. Is that correct?
Mordecai.
And you told this jury that on this occasion, Mr. Depp was kneeling on your back.
That's correct, in the closet.
And you also told this jury that you wore a backless dress to the Mordecai premiere that very same night.
I did.
And you testified that you were checking for bruises in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were, quote, no visible marks. right?
I was checking on my phone after the event to make sure that nothing, that you couldn't see anything.
Your testimony was that you were checking in the car on the way to the event to make sure that there were no marks on your back.
Perhaps I misspoke or I misunderstood. It was on the way back from it. It was after I was concerned. After, concerned that there would be marks in any photographs since we were being photographed at Johnny's press event.
And you didn't show this jury a picture of you in that backless dress, though, did you?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
You didn't show this jury a picture of you at the Mordecai premiere wearing a backless dress, did you?
I haven't had the opportunity to.
Okay.
I assume you have it?
I do. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit
Oh,
1256.
she bugs the shit out of me, guys. How does this not? Does it bug you too? I don't know. Is her attitude like?
This is a picture of you and Mr. Depp.
Mess with you
or the
guys?
back of you
Messing with me here?
at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, correct, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit and publish this picture.
All right, 1256 in evidence.
This is you in the backless dress at the Mordecai premiere in Tokyo, right?
That is correct.
You would agree that there are no bruises or visible marks on your back in this picture?
No, not that I could see.
I'll show you one other photo. If we could please have Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
Oh shit, I fucked up.
This is a front angle picture of you and Mr. Depp at that premiere, correct?
That is correct.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1257.
All right, 1257 evidence.
I don't like that. Okay, what's the move order here?
I'll show you one more picture. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258. And again, Ms. Heard, this is you and Mr. Depp at the Mordecai premiere?
Yes, it is.
Move to admit Plaintiff's Exhibit 1258.
All right, 1258 in evidence. Publish.
And that's
she's
the
acting like
backless
a
dress,
child?
right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
I don't know. She's acting.
You also told this jury about an incident in Australia in March of 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified that after this alleged incident, you had cuts on your forearms, right?
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had cuts on the bottoms of your feet as well.
Yes, that's true.
And you testified that you had a bruise across your jaw from when Mr. Depp, quote, clocked you in the face, end quote.
That's true.
You didn't take any pictures of these injuries while you were in Australia, did you?
I don't think I took any pictures.
You just took 2 pictures of Mr. Depp's writing on a mirror. Isn't that right?
I believe so, yes.
So you had your phone on you, right?
At some point I did have my phone.
And your iPad?
I had my iPad, I believe.
You testified that you were also raped with a liquor bottle in Australia, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
Bishop.
You testified you bled from your vagina as a result of that sexual assault.
Yeah.
Yes.
There aren't any medical records reflecting that you sought medical treatment for any of these injuries, are there?
I did not seek medical treatment after Australia, no.
Not for the rape?
No, I did not want to tell anyone.
Not for the cuts?
No.
Not for the injuries to your face?
I didn't need to.
Yeah, well,
You also told the jury about an incident on
you're trying to
December
prove
15,
it, you kind of do. I don't know.
2015, right?
Where? I'm sorry.
Document it if you're trying
December
to prove it.
15th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
You told this jury that after this incident, you had a broken nose.
It certainly felt like it.
So
Yeah.
do you recall giving testimony on day 16th in this trial?
I feel like it, but you don't know until you actually fucking break it, I guess.
You were
Yes,
under
I do.
oath, right?
Yes.
We can have a transcript for the jury, or excuse me, for the witness.
Okay. All right, we'll get it.
E8.
I will do. Thank you, Judy.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
All right, yes, ma'am.
And would you like a copy? sir?
Yes, please.
I think it's just getting checks. So check. 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 8.
If I can please direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to page of day 16, 4593 of the jury trials transcript. Lines 8 through 13,
On which page? I'm sorry.
4593.
Yes?
Starting on line 8, I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly thought, excuse me, strike that, let's start over. I thought I probably had a concussion and certainly that I had a broken nose. There was blood everywhere, blood all over the pillows. My head was bleeding from the ripped out hair, chunks of hair on the floor, all over the place actually. So lines 9, that I had a broken nose. Do you recall giving that testimony, Ms. Hurd?
Yes, exactly.
So you had a broken nose, right?
That's absolutely what I thought.
You had 2 black eyes after this incident, right?
I did have 2 black eyes after that incident.
And you testified that you also had a busted lip from when Mr. Depp punched you.
That is correct. From December, yes, that's correct.
You testified that the lip wound kept reopening when you moved your mouth.
That's correct.
You also testified that you had bruising on your temple
That's correct.
and bruising on your chin.
Guess that's the book move.
Correct.
This is
You also
theory
testified
still.
that your head
Interesting.
was bleeding from where Mr. Depp ripped chunks of your hair out.
I remember, yes.
And that you had, quote, gross,
Theory as
pussy,
well.
and, quote, bruising around your temple.
In my scalp, yeah.
Now, for this incident, you did take pictures.
That's correct.
And we will look at some of those in a minute, but I first want to talk to you about your appearance on the James Corden show.
Sure. Can I close this?
Sure. You appeared on the James
didn't
Corden
actually
show the
read
day
it.
after this alleged incident, right?
I did.
Lawyers
And that was
pissing her
December
off. Yeah.
16th, 2015.
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please pull up a clip of
She's
your
got to
appearance on that
freely tell
evening.
her story
The
however
plaintiff's
she
exhibit
feels for the
35.
last 8
And for the
days
record, we will only
now.
be playing a portion of this, so we
And
will call
now
it,
she's finally
plaintiff's
being
exhibit
challenged on the
35A.
shit she's
Any
saying.
objection?
And it's
35A evidence.
she's this is what happens when people, I feel like she has lied because when people lie and they get called like down these logical lines,
No, not so much.
they
Shooting guns,
tend
yes,
to
but
get back to
ballet,
the
no.
corner again.
So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no what do you call it? Grace. So I knew.
Your Honor, I'm
knew
so
I had to
sorry,
train
but it's not published to the jury. If we may have it, please published.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies. If we can please start that over.
Start it over, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I grew up, in Texas riding horses and.
Oh, really?
Not
a big ballet community out there in Texas.
No, not so much. Shooting guns, yes, but ballet, no. So I wanted to train for it, and there were some ballet sequences that we wanted to have the option to incorporate into the movie. So I trained forever, and I have 2 left feet. I'm the most klutzy person in the world, and I have no, grace? So I knew I had to train for it, and what they don't tell you, I crammed about 3 months of solid training in, and I'm kind of like working my way up from the floor and learning the technical aspect of ballet, and I've got these dances down technically perfectly. I'm learning all of the movements, but the last thing we get to are the hands. And I haven't yet got to that point, but everything else is working, and I'm acting it up on my face, and I'm selling the ballet. And I think I'm doing really good at this point, kind of nailing it. And so I send videos and images to my friends to get encouragement, look for their support. And everyone shoots back, what with the claw hand? And I look and I realize all that stress and fear of performing and doing this thing had just kind of funneled out through the one thing that I hadn't yet
What
mastered.
were your hands doing?
So I'd be doing this amazing, I'd be doing a jump with a back bend, and you can see this graceful falling, and my hands are and my face, though, is I've got that, you saw in the clip, this beautiful 1920s, stage makeup on, and flower crowns and all this stuff. And then my hand, and my face, and then my hands.
That was you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015.
Hey, what's
right,
up,
Mr.?
Alex?
That was.
Yeah, I did get my hair cut.
Please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
All short now, buddy. We chopped her off, man.
These are pictures of you on the James Corden show on December 16th, 2015, right, Ms. Heard?
They look like freeze frames, like screen grabs, stills. They're not it's not like a photo shoot, it doesn't seem.
But on the James Corden show, correct?
From that appearance, yes.
Move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 98.
Any objection? All right. And Ms. Bernhoff, you could move the microphone and turn it on for you, so Judy and I are having trouble hearing you.
Sorry, Rod.
All right, thank you. All right, 98 in evidence. Thank you.
That was hard on the ears. I gotta switch my battery out. Hold on.
That's a photo of you opening your mouth on the right?
That's correct.
And again, a larger view of the same photo on the bottom?
That's correct.
With a split lip?
You've seen pictures of it without makeup. Yes.
So you had a split lip when you were moving your mouth that way?
I sure did.
In those photographs?
Absolutely.
Okay. You did take pictures of your alleged injuries after December 15th, correct? And you showed those to the jury?
I sure did, yes.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 516, which is already in evidence.
All right, we're back. Battery died.
You testified that this is a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015, right?
It was.
And if we could also please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 517, which is also in evidence.
Oh man, this position is tough for me. What?
That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is also a picture of you after the incident on December 15th, 2015.
That's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 409, which is already in evidence. These pictures ended up in People magazine in June of 2016. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
You gave these pictures to People magazine after you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic abuse, didn't you?
I didn't personally know.
This was you protecting Mr. Depp after you got the restraining order against him, isn't it?
No, this is him calling me a liar and me forcing to prove it, as I mentioned to you earlier.
So you did give these pictures to
Who's
People
playing
magazine?
chess? I'm
No,
playing
I
chess.
gave these pictures actually to
Just playing against the computer, just kind of
my lawyers and my
messing around, trying to
representatives
learn more
at
about
the time.
positions.
So it's your testimony, Ms. Heard, that your lawyers and representatives gave these pictures of their client to People magazine in the middle of a contentious divorce?
I certainly did not personally give it, no.
Interesting.
You also have a medical record from
Also, hello,
after
Melinda.
the
How you doing?
December 15th, 2015 incident, don't you?
It's
A
all good.
partial one, yes.
I'm up in
You went to
the
see Dr.
corner, just kind of
Kipper's
chilling up here,
office a
tiny.
couple days later.
That's right. He wasn't in the office.
Can we please
Playing a
pull
little
up
chess,
Plaintiff's
watching the
Exhibit
trial.
47, which is already in evidence? This is your medical record for December
all good.
17th,
I'm doing
2015,
well.
isn't it, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I don't think so, no. I don't think I spoke to Kipper. I didn't speak to Kipper that day.
Cheers. Glad you like the haircut.
And
You
I
went
didn't-
to Dr. Kipper's office
lot
and were seen,
easier.
correct?
I went to Dr.
Anytime.
Dr. Kipper's office for a concussion check.
Right, okay. And this medical
a
record
little messy
is from
today.
that visit, correct?
Partially, yes.
Scroll down, please, if we could.
Was there a medical record? Nice. So I'll check it out.
The signature Kipper down below. This is the
Thank you.
entirety of the medical record. Right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, what I meant by partial is I didn't talk about what happened to me. I didn't get into my injuries. I didn't get into what happened or ask for anything other than should I get some sort of scan done.
But this record doesn't document any physical injuries on you, does it?
I'd have to read it in full, but I don't know.
Well, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Exactly. She's like, I don't know because I
Please
had
go.
the whole read the whole thing. Okay, let's read
Under
it.
skin on the second page. It reads,
She's not expecting to be
intact,
called
normal
out on her
color,
bullshit.
Moisture, hair distribution, texture, turgor. No signs of, oh, this is going to be hard, cyanosis, mottling, jaundice.
Jaundice.
It also says I'm a well-nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
Yeah, but it doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
That's not
Probably
true.
because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Heard?
I disagree with you on that.
Yeah, there was plenty of it to document, but I didn't document it. I
You don't
choose
have
not
any
to
medical
document
records
anything. I choose
reflecting
not
that
to
you
tell
broke your
anybody
nose during
anything
your
about
relationship
anything
with
that ever
Mr. Depp,
happened.
do
But
you?
now I'm going to come out and say all the stuff that happened with no evidence
I
and
saw an Ian to
expect the
after
whole
my
world to believe me.
relationship ended.
And you saw an ENT, it's your testimony under oath. that
Alex,
you saw an
I'd say,
ENT for
like
broken noses that you sustained as a result
I was
of
saying
Mr.
earlier,
Depp.
I think they're both
ENT
probably just
told me
toxic and abusive towards each other.
I mean, move to strike.
But when it comes to the court case and what you can prove, she hasn't anything to prove, and he does have evidence of it.
So again, just to try my
Yeah, he's
question.
lost a lot of
There's no
money because
medical
of this
records
shit.
reflecting that you broke your nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Is there a Ms.
Best
Heard?
part about all this is that
I
they're
don't
not
know
good to
what
be
made
together
it in
anymore.
evidence, but I do know that I documented that visit and that everything was given to my
They haven't been
attorneys.
together for a while. Right?
Ms. Heard, you never went to see any doctor or surgeon to treat a broken nose during your relationship with Mr. Depp. Yes or no?
I never sought treatment for broken nose while I was with Johnny.
Or after you were with Mr. Depp as a result of any injuries you sustained as a result of Mr. Depp.
Afterwards,
Exactly.
yes, I did.
And you didn't produce those medical records in this case.
I would object, Your Honor. She did.
I did.
I don't know.
They have not been produced, Your Honor.
They not only
All right, if you would
produced,
come and approach.
Oh, here we go. Now we have an argument of what evidence has actually been produced to the court. Depp's side is saying we didn't get any of it. Their side is saying it's been out there. No, this is important. They've been divorced since 2017. Yeah, I mean, it's been 5 years. But here's the thing. Imagine 5 years after you divorce this crazy woman, right? And, you know, again, they're probably both bad for each other. But 5 years after the fact, you're still losing your biggest role of your life, that, you know, the franchise you helped basically create. You're losing, you know, money in all sorts of areas because people don't want anything to do with you because of what she said about you. Like, I mean, I get why he's suing her, because at what point's enough? Like, how long is it going to go on? Is it going to be 20, 30, and he's still getting canceled because of what she's saying? So at some point, you got to just step in and be like, hey, you can't keep making up shit without proof.
Reflecting that you required any
And,
dental work during your relationship with
otherwise you're
Mr.
gonna have to
Depp.
pay
Do
me.
you?
I don't know. I don't recall.
You don't recall one way or another seeking dental care for any injuries you allegedly sustained?
You asked me about if I had produced records or if I had records. That's a different question.
Did you ever see a dentist or an oral surgeon
She's trying to be so
as a
combative.
result of any
It does
injuries you
not look
sustained
good.
with Mr. Depp?
Not about any injury I had from
Because if
Johnny, no.
she's actually truthful and everything she's saying is true, she
And you
doesn't
don't have
need to
any
be
medical
combative.
records
She just needs to
reflecting
be
that you
honest.
required any reconstructive work during your relationship with Mr. Depp, do you?
I never required reconstructive work, so there would be no records.
What you do have, Miss Heard, are pictures of Mr. Depp sleeping, though, right? The jury saw a lot of those.
Yes.
Miss Heard, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1090, which is already in evidence. You took this photograph, right, Miss Heard?
That's correct.
Is
And you
his head
testified
under
that
the
this
shelf?
was taken in Tokyo in July of 2013, correct?
Yes.
So you decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep on the floor?
He was passed out.
That's a yes.
And I took a picture of him because he wouldn't remember. He claimed he didn't pass out that way. And sometimes security would carry him like a baby into bed, get him changed, and he would be none the wiser. So
Who cares?
I started taking
that is
pictures of it
irrelevant.
so that he knew that it was real, that it had gotten this bad.
It's all about Johnny. Johnny's so bad.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1091, which is already in evidence.
Did he take as many
took
pictures
this
and
picture
videos
as
of
well.
her? Like all the time?
Yes.
And this is a picture that was taken in the Bahamas, right?
That would bug the shit
It's one
out
of them,
me.
yes.
And this is a picture of Mr. Depp taking a nap on his tropical island.
God, I want a tropical island, chat. Anybody else want a tropical island?
As he
Let's
would
go.
say.
You want to go 10%?
Sleeping on
We got
the
10 people
nod.
here.
On his island.
They're very
We
different.
just throw a little money
in my
down on an
opinion.
island.
And
Okay.
yes, he is on the island.
On vacation.
Could be island boys.
We were on vacation, yes.
Island boys.
Let's also take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1092,
And
which is also
girls.
in evidence.
Island girls.
You also took this picture, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct. I did.
And this is another picture of Mr.
Or I
Depp
had to take care of my
asleep in
dad's
a chair.
shit-faced once. That was fun.
No, he was nodding off. Sleep is different when you're nodding off.
Well, we all do what we
You're
gotta do.
High
you know?
on drugs.
Gotta-
Didn't even feel the cigarette in his hand that had.
I've had
been
people who
burning on
take
his
care of
leg.
me when I've gotten
It
too
was cause
hammered
for
before.
alarm for
Shit
me,
happens.
naturally, because I cared about him.
It's your testimony under oath that Mr. Depp is holding a cigarette in this picture?
He had been.
You seem to really like taking pictures
You live
of
in the
Mr. Depp
Caribbean,
while
you can
he's
help
sleeping,
out.
don't
Nice. Got a
I
good deal
hated
on an
it.
island. You got an island guy?
hated
You know,
it.
like we got a car guy or
Let's
a
look at Defendant's
insurance
Exhibit
guy. You got an island
1094,
guy.
which is
Gotta
also in
hook you up
evidence.
with an island. Caribbean.
You took this picture of Mr. Depp as well, didn't you?
I did.
Oof, what a
You
mess.
decided to take a picture of Mr. Depp asleep with ice cream spilled all over him, right?
He was nodding off, and I was worried about how bad the medications and the medication change and the drug use had gotten, where he wouldn't even feel ice
Let's
cream
just take
or a lit
pictures of
cigarette
him
on
and not help
and it
out at
scared
all.
me.
Let's just,
So you took a picture of
gosh,
it.
she's such a
Yes,
piece of shit.
I wanted him to get help, and Johnny's surrounded by enablers who clean up after him. and
Objection,
protect
Your
him.
Honor, I'm going to move to strike everything after yes, that she took this picture.
Still responsive here on it.
The question was, did you take this picture?
All right, I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Exactly.
This isn't a very flattering picture of Mr. Depp, is it?
No, it's not.
He
You
does.
wouldn't
He just
agree
lets him like
that this is, or you would
I've
agree with
passed
me that
out
this
and
is an embarrassing
woken
scene,
up with
right?
pizzas and pepperonis all over me before. You know, shit happens. But
Yes, I think it's a part of
like, if
getting help.
if I had a
is
lady there to
looking
see
at
it happen, I hope she'd be
seeing
helping
it.
me out a
But
little
you
bit.
sent this picture to one of your friends,
Fucking
didn't
hell.
you?
I don't recall.
Yeah, whatever.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 252.
And
We'll only be
pictures of
looking at
him
the portion of
sleeping,
this
passed
document.
out with ice
So
cream
if we
all
could
over him
please
is
call
not
it
evidence
Defendant's
of
Exhibit
anything.
252A.
I don't know what that evidence of.
And for ease,
He could have been
we've gone
stoned
ahead
or
and
just really
redacted it.
tired or drunk or what, anything, you know, whatever.
Yes,
Or
I was
just stayed
asking
up
for
too late.
support.
Fucking
That's
nice,
correct.
it's ice cream.
There's no question yet, misheard. So directing your attention, I'm going to move to admit Exhibit 252A.
Any
Yeah, there's no
objection?
pictures or videos of him hurting.
Any objection, Ms. Bretta? Could you turn your microphone again? I'm sorry. Thank you.
I need to see it first because I
Okay.
don't know what they redacted.
252.
We redacted the identifiers and anything that's not misheard
Up or down on
text messages. Consistent with hearsay.
I like this lawyer. I don't know what it is, but I like her. She's not emotional about shit. She's clear cut, straight to the point, concise, punctual, articulate. What else can I say? She's pretty. I don't know. It all works together. Working out.
You ready? Maybe we approach?
Okay.
How long is this trial going to go on for, you think, huh? I'm curious. I wonder how long it's going to go. We're on day 16. Like the year is 2028. We are on day 664. Yeah. I don't know. I just made up random numbers. It's going to be a 6-week trial. Yeah, I don't know. Here's the thing, though. If I was like Depp's lawyers at this point, or if I was Johnny even, I'd be like, hey, I want to win, right? We obviously want to win. We want the money. However, we've already kind of won, right? The whole fucking world kind of is on our side and hates this bitch, right? Pardon my Spanish, but anyways, so I mean, at what point do you just try to keep it short and sweet, prove her wrong, and try to get this trial over with? Because what's the point of dragging it out? I don't know. Because I'm trying to think, like, would it be better for Johnny's public relations kind of thing, for it to end now and him lose while it's still kind of relevant and everybody is watching on it? Or let's say it goes like 6 weeks, it's people forget about it, people aren't interested anymore, and then he loses and nobody really cares because we're on to the next thing. Like, you know, fucking Russia's now invaded, like, I don't know, Switzerland or something by then, or you know, whatever the next thing that happens. So you got to kind of wonder, like, I don't honestly, that probably doesn't have a factor in the court case, but it's something I'm thinking about at least. Because this whole case is over money, right? He's just trying to get some money out of her. But I think, like, he's got the public on his side, which if you get the public on your side, then I think maybe he'll be able to get a job again. Because if everybody likes you, it's
Sir,
hard
does this
for... Because
refresh
all
the
these companies do
recollection
is
that you
just
did, in
follow
fact, send this picture to
the loudest, wokest people, right? So, like, that's why he got canceled. But if everybody likes him again, then they're going to uncancel him.
on August
regardless
7th,
of what the court case says.
2014 at
I don't know.
11:24 p.m., correct?
That is correct.
It's my opinion, I guess.
So you sent Miss Pennington this picture of Mr. Depp with ice cream spilled on him, right?
That is correct.
And you wrote, quote, "This is what I've been dealing with," end quote. Did I read that right?
You did read that right. That's correct.
And this is you protecting Mr. Depp?
That is me getting support from my best friend.
This is you supporting Mr. Depp?
This is me getting support from my best friend. I also need support.
You weren't afraid the monster would get upset that you took this picture?
This was Opiate Johnny. This is a different version of him. This is Opiate on the Nod Johnny.
And you weren't afraid that Opiate Johnny, or the monster as you called him, would get upset that you sent this picture to your friend?
Well, he's all of those things. Of course he could get upset. Of course that's scary to me, of course. But
Didn't stop you from sending this picture to your friend, did it?
why would it?
I mean, why would it? Because you're scared of him. You're apparently scared of this monster, but yet you're
Mr.
taking
Depp's
pictures and sending them to your friends.
right hand is in his pocket, right, Miss Heard? In this
Yes,
picture?
that's correct.
You also showed this jury pictures of cocaine. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's please take a look at one of those. If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 167A, which is already in evidence. Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to the photograph. This is a photograph you took in March of 2013, right?
That is correct.
And this was taken at your apartment in Orange?
Yes,
And this is your breakfast table?
that is correct.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp left this breakfast table just the way you took it?
That is correct.
So this is what the table looked like after Mr. Depp had been doing cocaine?
Well, clearly he has yet to snort these lines.
There are 4 lines of cocaine on this table, right, Ms. Heard?
In this picture, I see 4 lines.
There isn't any cocaine residue around those lines, right?
Not that I can tell, no.
Doesn't really look like anyone's been doing cocaine off that table, does it?
With all due respect, I'm not sure you know how that works.
Ah, but she does.
You do.
Fucking
You
A,
testify
dude.
you've done cocaine.
I have.
Doesn't really look like Mr. Depp or anyone was doing cocaine off that table,
She's
does it?
getting mad. You
I
talking
beg
like,
to differ with you on that. When you snort cocaine, typically it goes into your nose.
she's
And
such a
then it doesn't stay on the
sarcastic
table.
bitch.
There's
Jesus
residue
Christ.
from that cocaine when your lips and nose touch the table, right?
Well, the tampon applicator next to the driver's license that you see is a device that I believe my sister had taught him to use in order
That's a
to
tampon applicator?
put the cocaine in your nose.
In your
Mr.
nose.
Depp is a pretty heavy smoker, right?
He is.
Fucking A.
And that's a cigarette in the ashtray in the back there? Back right?
Yes, it looks like one of his hand rolls.
There's no other cigarettes in that ashtray, are there?
I see one cigarette.
The one that's not smoked.
Oh,
That's
shit,
correct.
mate.
There's no ash in that ashtray either, is there?
Not that I can tell in this picture.
It's pretty clean.
In this picture, it looks like it, yes.
It's a pretty neat table. Wouldn't you agree?
It's a pretty neat table.
Depends on what you would call neat, I suppose.
And you sent this picture to your friend, Rocky Pennington, as well, didn't you?
I sure did.
Sure did.
And when you sent it, you said, quote, "Look at my morning," or something like that. Is that right?
Yay for mornings.
So you have a habit of sending staged photographs to your friend Rocky, don't you?
I had a habit of communicating with my best friend about what was going on in my life.
Wait.
You don't have any pictures of Mr. Depp actually consuming cocaine, do you?
I don't think I have a picture of him mid-snort. No.
You don't even have any pictures of
be
Mr.
important.
Depp with cocaine.
What do you mean by that?
Holding cocaine, standing next to cocaine, sitting next to cocaine.
Anything that has to
I
do
don't
with
know.
being with it,
I don't know.
Well, you haven't shown any of those pictures like that to the jury, have you?
as the question
I
would
don't know.
infer.
No, I haven't.
Right.
And you were never able to catch Mr. Depp with cocaine on film either, were you?
I never tried.
But you were able to catch him sleeping, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I have seen him pass out in all sorts of places, yes.
And you also captured a video of Mr.
Johnny's
Depp
so bad, he sleep all
in
the
the
time.
kitchen that was played again for this jury today, beating up some cabinets. Do you recall that?
Sorry, say that again?
You recall capturing Mr. Depp in the kitchen of one of his homes, beating up some cabinets?
Yes. Slamming things around, yes.
So you took that video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen, right?
I did.
And you took it on one of your iPad devices?
I took it on my iPad.
You were deposed in August of 2016 in connection with your divorce proceedings from Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And you will recall that the video of Mr. Depp in the kitchen was released online the day before your deposition in August of 2016, don't you?
That's correct.
You're the one who released that video.
Incorrect.
Isn't that true?
That's incorrect. I flew in from another place at the time. I remember learning about it when I landed.
So it's just a coincidence that the video you took of Mr. Depp was released the day before you were deposed in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp.
I absolutely had nothing to do with that. I wouldn't even know how to do something like that.
Wait, what? She wouldn't know how to do what? Release a video? And she's playing dumb?
You settled your divorce from Mr. Depp in August of 2016, right?
That sounds right.
And in connection with that settlement, you received $7 million from Mr. Depp, true?
That's correct.
And then
6.8, exactly.
Your settlement amount was $7 million.
That's correct.
And then you released a statement in which you claimed you would be
Gosh, she's
donating
the
the
worst.
entire $7 million to charity, right?
That's correct.
You stated you would be donating half of the $7 million to the ACLU,
That's correct.
and you would be donating the other half to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
That is correct.
And you also stated, with respect to the $7 million divorce settlement, that money played no role except for the extent that you could donate the money to charity.
Yes, that's correct.
If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1259. This is an article entitled Amber Heard Donates Johnny Depp Divorce Settlement to Charity. Read her statement in full. Is that correct?
That's what the title says, yes.
Directing your attention to the portion on the second page where it says, quote, read the statement below. Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
This is not her statement. This is some.
She just testified, Your Honor, that it's her statement.
May I see the full?
Oh, they got her. Wait. They just got her to testify and say that was her statement, and now
evidence as redacted.
Oh, that's crazy. They got her. Fuck. That's funny.
The statement reads, as described in the restraining order and divorce settlement, money played no role for me personally and never has, except to the extent that I could donate it to charity, and in doing so, hopefully help those less able to defend themselves. As reported in the media, the amount received in the divorce was $7 million, and $7 million is being donated. This is over and above any funds that I have given away in the past and will continue to give away in the future. Did I read that correctly?
That is correct. I don't remember that last line, but I have no. It doesn't stand out to me as wrong.
There's nothing inaccurate in the statement.
Not that I recognize, no.
Mr. Depp donated $100,000 of the divorce settlement directly to the ACLU. Is that right?
Right at the beginning of the divorce settlement, he donated $100,000 to each charity on my behalf or towards my contribution.
So $100,000
to each.
To the ACLU.
And to the Children's Hospital.
And in response, you publicly demanded that Mr. Depp pay the divorce settlement directly to you instead of the charities, right?
That was always the agreement, actually, is for him to pay me directly. It was not his money as per the settlement agreement to give away and reap a tax benefit from. I said if he wants to do it and give to charity all of a sudden, then he should pay the correct amount and not try to get a big tax break for it. So effectively for his tax bracket, he should be paying double that amount to the charity. And if he wanted to pay the charity directly, he could. He could do that, was fine with me, but he would need to pay the adjusted amount.
Okay, so that's, I'm going to pause it quick because That makes sense. Like I agree with that, but how she also frames it, like she almost kind of is trying to argue like the rich need to pay their fair share, like somehow, like she's like because of his bracket he wouldn't need to have paid more. It's like, well, you're the same bracket. The reason you wanted to donate it to charities because you would have been able to reap the same. You were going to do it for the same reason. He just basically said, well, I'll do it instead. So I get why she'd be like, no, but she can't play like, you know, the pot calling the kettle black kind of thing. It's like she was trying to do it for the same reason, which is fine, but just like don't make it out to be like this thing, like, you know.
Ultimately, the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement was paid directly to you, right?
Over time, yes.
And Mr. Depp didn't end up paying the rest of the $7 million divorce settlement directly to the charities you identified.
That is correct. He paid the installments to me.
You stopped that from happening, didn't you?
I don't understand what your question is. I'm sorry.
You stopped Mr. Depp from paying the charities that you had named directly.
That is incorrect. I said if you want to pay the charities directly, pay the adjusted amount, or pay as per our agreement in the settlement or in the divorce, as per our agreement.
You also
and he chose to do the former, not the latter. I mean, the other way around.
You also publicly stated that the $7 million divorce settlement should be paid to the charities immediately in full, right?
If he wanted to pay it in the way that he was suggesting, yes.
And you said publicly that the payments to the charities should not be drawn out over many years, right?
I said that I don't recall the exact words that I used, but basically that he shouldn't use this as a novel interest in getting a tax break. That if he wanted to do that and not pay me the settlement, that was fine, but he would have to pay the adjusted amount and not make it, you know, a commitment he would not fulfill or try to avoid in some other way.
And that's because you wanted the entire world to think that you were donating every penny of the $7 million divorce settlement as soon as you received it from Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
No, I was going to be receiving it in installments, and I would be paying in installments the donations.
In fact, you released a statement in response to Mr. Depp's $100,000.
Yeah, you guys think she's going to actually give it away to charity?
Didn't you?
I don't recall.
Let's see if we can refresh your recollection. If we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1260.
See, court can be fun. It can be funny, you know?
This is an article entitled Amber Heard and Johnny Depp Row Over Divorce Donations. And if I could direct your attention to where it says, I believe it's on the second page, her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Objection, hearsay, spokeswoman, it's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor.
You want to come forward?
Oh, all right. Let's see who's going to win this little lawyer tussle. It's a spokesperson, so it's not her, so it's technically hearsay. But I guess there's an exception for a spokesperson. Lawyers of Depp doing their due diligence. Unlike Captain Hearsay over there on Heard's side. I don't know. I don't know.
You released a statement
May we approach again?
Okay.
Okay. What? Come on. Get it together. I wonder how many witnesses they're going to have after Heard.
Before we ask the next question, I'll just hand you a copy of this one.
I want to see it before you ask.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's exactly what I said.
Oh, the lawyers, little ladies and the lawyers getting a little spicy. Woo. That's right. The popcorn. Oh, shit. That's what I wanted to do. I'm going to go F4. That's the best move. Take.
Your Honor, would you like to see one as well?
No, that's all right. That's fine. Thank you. Could you please turn your microphone on? I'm sorry, Ms. Burhoff.
Your Honor, they gave me a redacted, but I don't have the unredacted to be able to see the full
I
document.
plan to admit it, or ask that it be admitted in redacted form. I'm taking away any hearsay, and I'm just trying to lay the foundation that this is a statement she released through a spokesperson.
How would I know whether there's more to it that shouldn't be redacted, Your Honor, if I don't see the full document?
Why? Wait, that doesn't make sense. Why would you need to see the full document to know if there's more that needs to be redacted? Look at what's already been redacted and what you have, and see if you want more redacted. But I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb.
Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do, we have the right to be able to see the document.
All right. Do you have a document that's not redacted?
We can pull it up on our computers.
Okay.
Just give us a moment, Your Honor.
All right.
I can represent this is the full statement that's reported.
Okay, give her an opportunity to look at the unredacted one.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh man, this is nuts. I love it.
Sorry, Ms. Braddock. May I approach?
Yes.
Oh fuck, what am I doing? I needed that there.
So, Your Honor, can we have a copy of this?
Yeah, you can get a copy of that
Happily.
later
Yes.
today. Okay?
Right,
All right.
I mean, I think she should be giving us copies of the full.
Well, I understand. We'll take care of that. But
Okay.
as of right now, can we continue?
We can, Your Honor, but I have an objection because of, there's some quotation marks missing.
Okay, come forward.
I have an objection. There's quotation marks missing. They're pulling. They're grasping. You know, they're really reaching. Which I mean, you got to do as a lawyer, right? That's your job, is to do what you got to do. That's why I said I kind of feel bad for Heard's lawyer, because it's like, you know, they're just trying to do their job, right? At the end of the day. You're gonna get some sleep, Vanessa? Isn't it like morning there? Or what? Or no? I don't know.
All right. So directing your attention, Ms. Heard, where it says her spokeswoman responded in a statement.
Your
The
Honor-
language that follows.
Your Honor, again, she can't read it. She has to show it
The
to her.
language that follows.
Right.
Oh,
If
here
you
we
want
go.
to
It's
lay
getting
foundation
spicy.
to that. Go ahead.
You released a statement after Mr. Depp donated $100,000 to the ACLU and
Oh, you got your
$100,000
sleeping schedule
to
messed up again.
CHLA. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And the language that follows is the statement you released
What's going on,
in
Alex? How you doing?
response to Mr. Depp's donations, right?
I don't know if this is the official statement.
Are you on the East Coast there in Australia?
The statement that reads, starts
Objection, Your Honor.
at Amber Heard. That's the only thing I'm going to say. Would you please read that to yourself, Ms. Heard?
Yeah, it's you're on the Eastern time right now. It's almost 8 here.
Yes.
Did you read all the way to the very bottom where the last word is supported?
Yeah. Valiance?
Yes.
Did I say it?
That's a
How you doing,
statement
ma'am?
you released through your spokeswoman after Mr. Depp made the donations to the CHLA and the ACLU. Correct, Ms. Heard?
I do not recall exactly what my statement was. I don't disagree with anything in the statement, but I just simply don't recall what the statement was we released.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
Okay. I'm going to move to admit.
Have a good one, Vanessa. Catch you later.
I'll overrule the
Thanks for
objection.
stopping by.
1260 and evidence over objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Statement reads, Amber Heard appreciates Johnny Depp's novel interest in supporting two of her favorite charities, the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union for Domestic Violence, and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. This is great and unexpected news. And it continues. However, if Johnny wishes to change the settlement agreement, we must insist that he honor the full amount by donating $14 million to charity, which, after accounting for his tax deduction, is equal to his $7 million payment obligation to Amber.
So double it? Damn.
We would also insist that the full amount be paid immediately and not drawn out over many years. Anything less would be a transparent attempt by Johnny's counsel, Laura Wasser and Patty Glazer, to reduce their client's true payment by half under the guise of newfound concern for charities that he has never previously supported, end quote.
I mean, it is better to drag it out over years because you end up paying less due to inflation, but
Did I read that correctly?
yeah,
Yes.
well, that makes sense.
Thank you.
Especially if there's no like intro.
After this, you kept commenting about the donation of your divorce settlement, right?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay. You spoke about donating your divorce settlement on a Danish TV show, correct?
I believe I said I had. I believe I said I donated it to charity, but it was already printed or already commented on and stated in the press. I had already released that information in the press. I think I just confirmed it on that show.
You appeared on a show called RTL Late Night, right?
I don't recall what show it was.
If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 346, which is a portion of your appearance on this program. And we would ask that it be moved into evidence and ask for permission to publish it.
It contains, it has hearsay, it contains other communications with other individuals.
Your Honor, if we may approach very briefly.
I wonder, like, it's only Monday, right, for this trial? I know it's Tuesday for a lot of the Aussies, but, like, for Americans here in the trials, it's Monday. I hope the judge doesn't start getting sick of all this this approaching. I think not last week, but the week before, whenever they were doing the trial before, she started to say, she's like, it's not my job to be responsible for, like, what you guys are doing, putting into evidence, like, or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what she said, but she was basically saying, like, get your shit together, right? So, hope she doesn't get too frustrated. Yeah, I don't recall. Right? Yeah, she must have got hit real hard in the head because she didn't recall a lot. But if I think about it, I've never been in court, for anything. Well, I shouldn't say that. It was when I was in like high school. I had to go to court. I think it was high school, middle school. It was high school. Because some kid like wrote like a death threat for a bunch of kids, and I was on the list. And like, yeah, we had to take this kid to court. It was really a big deal. So that's a story for another day. But I don't remember it. I really don't remember much of it. But I've never been to like court and had to like testify for anything, so I can't really say how I would be to try to remember things. Because I'm already not that great at remembering things from like long periods of time ago, like specific details, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. So I'm just saying I don't know how good I would do on a stand when it comes to being pressed with questions on things in the past, but she's not, I don't know. She's not coming off very strong to me. Heard at least, you know. And yeah, her demeanor just bugs the shit out of me. I wonder if it comes off that way in the courtroom, because you know it could be different, right? It could be like different in the courtroom on how she's like being portrayed. Like, do they love her? Do they hate her? You know, the rest of the world hates her, but like, or most of it. You know? And I just want like a 60 minutes episode on what the fuck Johnny's always writing down back there. You know, like just a camera view of behind him. And, you know, it's so suspicious.
So if we could please play and publish to the jury Plaintiff's Exhibit 346.
Yeah, no, I know why they say it. I don't recall.
And actually were all kinds of accusations flying your way when you said all this.
But you also
and then
say it if
there
you
was a
don't
divorce
remember, for
settlement. You got $7 million. People were saying this is all about the money. But then you did something that
look at her face. Oh,
twisted
she's
that whole argument. What did you do with that money?
$7 million in total was donated to. I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
ACLU is a human rights organization.
Sorry, ACLU is a prominent organization, nonprofit organization in the United States. It's called the American Civil Liberties Union, and they work on behalf of marginalized communities on the ground and in legislative reform.
Right.
And
well, more power to you, because that's something that I've never heard
I wanted
of.
nothing.
This interview was in October of 2018, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't recall when it was.
It was in 2018, right, Ms. Heard?
I don't remember when this was done.
This was after you had received the full $7 million of your divorce settlement for Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
Again, without knowing when it was recorded, I have no idea.
Wait a second.
The $7 million divorce settlement was paid to you in full by February of 2018, right?
That's correct.
And that interview happened after that because you were talking about it.
Exhibit 1458, which is already in evidence.
How fucking stupid is this? Just answer the question. Quit being so combative.
This is the point memorandum from your divorce settlement, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's what it looks like.
And if we go down to the bottom of page 4, there's a heading labeled equalization payment. Do you see that?
Yes.
And underneath that, it outlines the payment
Just
schedule
looking at
for
the
divorce
video of her
payments,
doing the
correct?
interview, like, I don't recall that was me or not.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Well, it begins to. And if we go on page...
Yeah, I wouldn't remember that. Chat. I was saying
Page
before, I won't
5.
remember a lot. You know, I'd be bad at it. But hey, fuck me. If you put me like in a video, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that. I'd be like, I remember that. Fuck me, man.
So the first payment is scheduled for August 31st, 2016,
though.
and that's $200,000, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
God.
Mr. Depp's accountant, Edward White, testified that he made that payment directly.
My eyes are watering. This is too funny.
You got to turn on your microphone, Ms. Berderhoff. I'm not going to hear you.
Objection to her testifying to what Mr. White.
Bro, okay, y'all kids nowadays like want to call people like, who are 30 boomers. This fucking chick is a boomer, okay? Her lawyer is a goddamn boomer. It's like the 10 millionth time she hasn't turned on her fucking microphone to talk.
I believe so, yes.
And then the rest of the payments were
This isn't the
made to you,
1800s.
weren't
You ain't
they?
yelling
That
out
is
in the
correct.
courtroom what you're
And the
fucking.
final payment of
objected to.
$2.3 million is on February 1st, 2018, right?
The final payment, yes.
And you were here in court when Mr. White testified that the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. It's an
Overrule the
improper.
objection. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you were here in court when
Overruled,
Mr. White
bitch.
testified that the payments were all made on schedule, right?
I don't believe they were. He might have
That's
testified
not my
to
question, Ms. Heard. My question was, you were here in court when
Answer
Mr.
the
White
question.
testified under oath that all the payments were made on schedule.
I was here every day in court. I heard his testimony, yes.
Okay. So back to October of 2018, This was before Mr. Depp sued you for defamation, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
He didn't sue you until after the op-ed came out in December of 2018, right?
He sued me in 2019.
And the op-ed came out in December of
remembers that.
2018.
That is
She
correct.
remembers that shit.
So in October of 2018,
She
you had
recalls.
received your entire $7 million divorce settlement. You would agree with me.
That is correct.
Okay. And you hadn't yet been sued by Mr. Depp.
This is October, correct.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, end quote, right?
That's correct. I made that statement as soon as I got a divorce and we reached the settlement. That's when I pledged it, right then.
And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Incorrect. I pledged the entirety of the
Ms. Heard,
settlement, $7
that's
million
not my
to charity,
question.
and I
Ms. Heard,
intend to
Ms.
fulfill
Heard,
those
Ms.
obligations.
Heard,
She intends. Pledging is different than
Please.
donating.
Well,
you
try to answer my question.
fucking.
Sitting here today, you
She
have
pledges
not
to.
donated
Still to this day,
the
she
$7
pledges to, is what she just
million
fucking said.
Donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement.
Yeah, get that
to
cameraman. That cameraman's getting her
I
fucking
use
face when
pledge
she
and
asks this
donation
question. She's gonna put it
synonymous
all over the
with
fucking
one another.
internet.
They
But
do
I
the same
don't.
thing.
Ms. Heard,
Yeah,
I don't
you
use
got
it
her. Let's go.
synonymously.
That's how
Fucking
donations
A.
are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully,
yeah. Get her.
that's not my question.
Get her. That's not my question. That's not my fucking question.
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of
Yeah,
today,
you
have not
stuck
paid
4 years
$3.5
after you
million
said you would,
of your
you
own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
So as
Not
of
yet. I haven't
today,
done it yet because I'm.
you have not donated, paid $7 million of your divorce settlement to charity, right?
I have not been able to fulfill those obligations yet.
And that's
Oh,
because
yeah,
you
it sounds
did
so
want
good.
something.
I love
Didn't
it.
you?
I didn't want anything, and I didn't get anything.
You wanted Mr. Depp's money.
Yeah.
Didn't get it, wasn't interested in it. I loved Johnny, that's why I was with him.
You wanted praise for
That
donating
money's
the
probably
money.
making her money.
Right?
She's just making money
That's
off
incorrect.
that money.
You wanted good press.
In general, one does want good press, yes.
Oh,
You wanted to seem altruistic publicly.
Wasn't my interest.
Sorry, that's not
my
ever
interest
happening
is
again.
in my name and clearing my name. And at the time, I was being called a liar, and my motives were being questioned. I did see it as important to clear that up. I wanted to make a statement to make sure that there was not any doubt that I couldn't be labeled these things just because Johnny was a bigger star and had more publicity reach.
You wanted to remind everyone of your claims of domestic violence against Mr. Depp, right?
No, I wanted to move on with my life.
You wanted to make those claims seem believable.
They are believable. They were
You wanted
believable.
them to be seen, you wanted to be seen, as a noble victim of domestic violence,
I
didn't
have
you?
never wanted to be seen as a victim. Nor have I ever called myself one.
You testified under oath that, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote, didn't you?
That's correct. I pledged the entirety.
No.
That is not what she fucking
Heard.
said.
My questions. Your counsel will have time to redirect you after. You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
Oh my
I'm gonna move
god.
to strike everything after yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yes, there is. She's not answering the question properly.
Ms. Hurt,
Like it's
this is really inappropriate.
I'll sustain
It is.
the objection, and we'll just move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward. Next question.
Under oath, that statement wasn't true, was it, Ms. Heard?
I'm sorry, I don't follow your question. Sorry.
oh my god. She's
You
really getting
testified
herself
under
into
oath,
trouble.
Quote,
She's
the
about to commit
entirety of my
perjury here if
divorce
she doesn't
settlement was
handle this
donated
correctly.
to charity, end quote. That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety to charity.
The statement.
When you
Oh,
say
her
you
the
buy a house,
fucking
you don't
soft,
pay for the
fake
entire
softness
house
in her
at one
voice
time.
makes me want to just.
You pay it
I'm
over
not asking,
time.
Ms. Hurd.
All right, next question, please.
Thank you. That statement isn't true today, as you sit here today, is it?
It is true. I pledged the entirety.
But you
to
didn't
charity.
donate it.
Unfortunately,
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those.
So that's a no, right, Ms. Hurd?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety.
No, it's not. It's
I
not
haven't
about
been
you being
able to
clear.
fulfill
It's
those
about you
pledges
answering
because
the
I've been
goddamn
sued.
question.
You had all of the $7 million for 13 months before Mr. Depp sued you, and you chose not to pay it to the charities you pledged it to.
Okay, so
that
she had
correct?
over a
I
year
disagree with
to
your
pledge
characterization
it
of that.
before she got sued. And she never did.
Let's look at your sworn testimony from the UK.
All right, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
This is ridiculous.
Ms. Vasquez, do you want me to close the shades?
That would be
Okay.
Oh, dude, she's
There's
getting
this light
blinded up
coming
there. Holy
across.
shit, I didn't see
Well,
that.
I appreciate that.
Has
It's
to be a little
probably
more
good light.
Like,
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
This is your third witness statement that you submitted in the UK action, right, Ms. Hurd?
Correct.
And this statement was made under oath, true?
That is true.
I'm directing your attention to the last page of that statement. That's your signature, right?
Yes, it is.
So you made this sworn statement on February 26, 2020.
That's correct.
And directing your attention to paragraph 4. It says, quote, I remained financially independent from him the whole time we were together, and the entire amount of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote.
That is correct.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
The him you were referring to is Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
But she didn't donate it because now she's going to say, oh, I pledged it. She thinks those two things mean the exact same thing when they don't. And she's using
Most
her
of the
getting
money
sued
that
as
was
an excuse
donated
when
to
she
the
had a year
ACLU and CHLA in your name came from someone else. Isn't that right?
I don't know what you mean by most of.
Well, at least $500,000 that was donated to the ACLU in your name wasn't paid by you, right?
I believe Elon made a donation in my honor on one of the years.
Yeah, and it didn't come out of your $7 million
Elon
divorce
stepping
settlement,
in
right?
with the
No,
big
nor
bucks,
did it count towards my
baby.
pledge.
Just a drop in the bucket for him.
And at least $500,000 that was donated to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in your name wasn't paid by you either.
Right, those were made at the same time.
Oh, I love
And
it.
it didn't come out of your $7
His
million
name pops
divorce
up a lot,
settlement.
doesn't it?
Nor did it count to my 3.5 obligation.
What the fuck?
Those $500,000 payments came from your new boyfriend, Elon Musk, right?
Oh!
I don't know if he was a new boyfriend at the time.
You got
At
him
the
to
time.
pay part of what you promised to these two charities,
This
didn't
gets
you?
spicy.
Incorrect.
I love it.
Because you wanted to keep at least some of the $7 million divorce settlement for yourself, right?
You're very wrong about that.
I think this, if Your Honor is
Okay,
fine,
you said
this is a good
it's
stopping
breaking point. Okay, that's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop here for the evening. Remember tonight, do not do any outside research and do not discuss the case with anybody. I know these days are a little longer, and I appreciate your patience and your
I thought she did well.
taking care of everything here.
That lawyer
Please
did
take
pretty
care of
well.
yourself tonight, okay? And we'll see you in the morning at 9 a.m.
It really wasn't about her getting Amber to tell like an elaborate story or anything like that. It was just questions, right? Questions and challenging the stories a bit and using evidence. I like the little spicy boyfriend Elon comment in there. Get her something to end on. Get her thinking. You know, it's that's gonna make news headlines. I'm sure it already has, right? We've been watching this for a while now, and this trial ended a while ago. So, or not the trial, but the day. For the day ended a few hours ago. So yeah, that's funny. That's good stuff. Let's just look. I'm gonna try and Depp Heard trial. Let's see what the top news stories are. Elon Musk. What else we got? Discusses feces accusations. Fix a swollen face. Not a lot about Elon, surprisingly. I thought more people would be talking about it. And that was Heard cross examinations. She says trial is an emotional torture. Wow. It's not torture if you just want to just settle. Just settle then, it'll be over. Wait, it's $100 million defamation? I thought it was less than that. Crazy. I don't know if they're bringing Elon into the stand. I doubt they will. I doubt they will, but I think they use it more as a way to kind of get under her skin, not let her get in her very sympathetic fake acting mode that she likes to get in, where she's like it's all about her and poor Johnny needs help and I'm trying to help Johnny, I'm trying to be Johnny's help savior, blah blah blah. By bringing up these little things that make her not look so good, it kind of fucking gets under her skin a bit and doesn't allow her to, get into that mode. I don't know. I honestly don't think Elon will show up, but who knows? I mean, goddamn. I mean, 2020 gonna be a rocking of a year. Tell you what. He goes, well, I don't know if he's buying Twitter yet. I think the deal's on hold now, but yeah, he's trying to buy Twitter. He's trying to, get a piece of that herd. Ended up on the stand for it, man. I mean, shit. I want to talk about somebody trying to get a spokesperson. You just get Elon Musk to take 2 weeks off of everything. Wouldn't like Tesla just fall apart? SpaceX or the rockets fall out of the sky? I don't know. If the poop chute don't fit, you must acquit. What the fuck? I don't know. Anyways, it's been a good little live stream today watching the trial. I don't know if I'm gonna do a live show tonight. Actually, it's already kind of getting late. We'll see. I don't really have anything prepared for it, but maybe do some Twitch stream. We'll see. If you guys haven't yet followed me on Twitch, down below too, I do streams on there as well. Keep an eye out for other content. If you're not subscribed yet, consider subscribing. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody, though. I think I'm going to be getting out of here. It's been a longer stream today. It's a little 3.5 hours. So, appreciate you all. We'll cover more of this trial. Now that Cross is going on, I definitely want to watch it, and I enjoy kind of doing the replay stream because it's a little bit quicker, in my opinion. So, thanks, everybody, for being here. Hope you're having a good one. We will chat with you later. Peace, love, cheers. Bye-bye.